outside of cave. A little bit more risky.
Yeah, a little bit more risk involved, but at least in this round, it's worked.
So very different already for seeing the CT side approach from Big. There are no players in mid. They don't care about mid control. They're giving that to Cloud9, whereas Cloud9 were the opposite.
Yeah, they don't really care to take that fight. I mean, they can throw it in and to mix things up on the CT side if they feel like they need it. Maybe if they continue losing, they just might do that. Good Molotov from Sin. You imagine a smoke is going to come out on top of it now, so denying access to cave for quite some time. 4 players are here from Cloud9. They do want to apply pressure. You have Axal lurking over in mid, so they want to cause some shifting and movement in this defense so that Axal can actually try and exploit something. Mantu swings right back into that fight.
Yep, and Shiro's not going to miss. So that's the kill for Cloud9 that draws them into the better position. Yeah, exactly. Not going to miss twice. He did miss the first time, but the second time he did not. And now Sin's turn.
Oh.
He just jumped off the box right into the angle.
Oh, well, Mantu gave like 2 chances over to Shiro to find that kill. So I think individually, Big just lost a little bit of focus in this round, and all 3 of them get punished rather easily. So bomb comes down to be planted. Axal's watching for this push, looking to take more guns away, and this is painful. This is all the money that C9, or excuse me, that Big have.
Wow, that is kind of crazy. We waited a long time to see the guns come back out for Big, and it just gets destroyed. New article on HLTV dropped.
Is there?
Yeah, how teams take banana control. I wonder, you know, what's your method of banana control, Jason?
In CS2?
A lot of nades, I'm assuming. But
yeah, I guess like the difference is going to be what the Molotovs are a little bit bigger now in CS2.
The nades, the HE grenades are actually better.
Okay, and then obviously with some of the smokes that we see thrown, being able to blow open said smokes.
Yeah, grenades are a lot more powerful. It did feel like in CSGO, HE grenades are maybe a little weak. There'd be a lot of times where you might not even want to buy them. You want to go with a double flash. But HEs seem almost like an essential purchase over in CS2 now. So that's going to be interesting to see.
We'd like to see that.
They do a little bit more damage too, I do believe.
Make grenades great again.
Yeah. Maga. There we go. All right. Big. They've lost the opening kill. And it's going to be Cloud9 up to 12. So they're taking the lead.
Yeah.
Taking the lead on Ancient.
Taking the lead on the T side. Taking the lead with Hobbit at the helm.
Yes.
Because I mean that's still a question, right? Like we've kind of talked about it, like we're just assuming it's going to go, you know, pretty decently. Like Hobbit's going to do a good job, but possible still that, you know, he's going to have to learn how to become a strong in-game leader if this is something that's going to be permanent. So nice to see them able to overcome things at least for the moment.
I mean, they have kind of put a performance.
Well, let's say this: the part of this decision that brings Electronic back to fragging, that part's working. You know, even if it's not like any kind of crazy tactics, Hobbit calling a great game, you have Axal, Electronic, and Shiro all performing individually, which is super helpful.
Yeah, it's really nice. It's going exactly how you would want it. And, you know, the cool thing about Hobbit in-game leading too is they've given him a little extra motivation, but they're threatening to replace him with a Christmas singer. So I think that's something that might come down the line. I feel like you don't want that.
Bringing in the wedding singer for his position.
Yeah, exactly. Every time he messes up a T-side round, they just start playing Last Christmas in his head.
Yeah, yeah.
Just hears it in the background.
It's like Pavlov experience.
Just conditioning him. Here we go. Shiro boost. This is always a fun boost.
Yeah, well, they've ran into Mantu a couple of times with this site.
So they're really worried about it this time.
With the AWP, yeah, and I think they're just like, you know what? Let's bring our AWPer to the party. No ops home on defense, though. Tapson over in Donut is going to be able to spin and join up with this hit. Process on the initial defense. There's the utility. There's the boost up. Molotov out from both sides. Good counter Molotov, but Electronic still hits a nice shot.
Yeah, Electronic's looking sharp.
Yeah, he's back.
Yeah.
I'm thinking I'm back.
Yeah. Quite a quick way to get back here for Electronic. And Tapson will win the fight versus Axel, so that player advantage is short-lived. And look at this play from Sin.
I think Axel...
He's going to run right into them.
I was gonna say, I think Axel might be a little bit frustrated.
No, Electronic can't hear it, so obviously he's just gonna walk out with his knife. He's not ready for Sin to be so far pushed forward. Now Cloud9 realize we actually have lost a good bit of map control, but with that deep B push, there has to be some sort of weakness on the B defense. So Hobbit's looking to seize that chance to get out, take the space through cave, throws the bomb back into it, seizes that jewel, and will not get the headshot. So Hobbit just slowing things down. 15 seconds though. Can't afford to slow any further, and the bomb is now lost, and so will this round be. It is big tying the game up again, and what a push from Sin. Just taking that risk.
I actually even like the response from Hobbit as well to kind of hustle in towards Jaguar and Cave really, really quick and attack that B bomb site. Found the exact gap he was probably envisioning in his head. Just couldn't really find a solid way to exploit it. Missed the initial duel, wasn't able to find the kill, and obviously not able to move fast enough to help Perfecto get out and get the bomb planted inside the site. Good job from Crimbo. Holding on to this down the stretch, finding the final 2 kills, and we're back to a tie ball game.
How do Cloud9 respond? Hobbit just gets into B lane. He's the player that takes the risk to head into the danger zone. Shiro took initial damage in this round. He's down to 33 health already.
I'm actually kind of amazed. There's a decent amount of money on Big. Tamsin and Sin still with some saved weapons able to kind of keep their money in a decent enough place.
Well, managing their economy very well.
It feels like this should be a reset round almost in my brain, but both teams still with some cash to play with, so we haven't quite hit that emergency moment yet where one of the teams can just capitalize with 2 or 3 off of a win.
So I like that. We're going to be very competitive over the next few rounds.
A little bit of a smoke in the face of Mantu, going to cause a reposition. A defensive smoke deployed at B ramp as well to change the timing that Cloud9 was looking for. Flashbang in, Perfecto blind still gets the kill. That has got to be frustrating for Sin. Another smoke drops and another kill. As Hobbit finds it through smoke, the AWPer is taken down, and all of a sudden, Big's defense has crumbled. Now, if you're Tapsin in process, you definitely have to try and save, but even that is not a guarantee.
Yeah, Axel on the other side of the map just waiting in A main, letting his team deal with the B play, and then he comes out very late on to just close the round out. So that's one of my favorite terms to sort of to come into CS. Instead of lurker, we kind of calling them closers a lot of the time now. You know, like closer of the year. Yeah. Axel was the player to pick that up. And I really like that term because quite often it is Axel just wrapping up the round, you know, just cutting off that save or coming in as the flank that closes out the round. So that's a new term that I'm enjoying.
It can be a little bit of a bummer position too if you consider like how many times, you know, if it goes the other way and they're not having success and Electronic and Shiro aren't getting all these kills, then you just look a little bit silly as Axel because you're on the other side of the map without able to have any impact on anything.
Yeah, and then you have to save.
But obviously in this game, it's going quite nice for him.
I think Axel's got a really good read of when to sort of force the issue and when to get aggressive and create a little bit more pressure and pressure lurk. We've seen the timing now. He didn't even extend out of A main until the right time.
Oh, sure.
That's it. Yeah, all right, perfecto.
Yeah, we'll give you that one.
You get a free pass every now and then. That's one of them. And you have to say, Perfecto did get unlucky quite a lot of the rounds on the CT side. It comes back. It swings and roundabouts.
Just imagine watching this game back and being like, how did he kill me when he was this blind?
Oh, and that's how he did it.
Like, he was actually pointing at the floor. That's how blind he was.
Sick. Well, here we are on the A play. It's Process getting absolutely destroyed. Ripped off the top of that boost by Shiro. That feels rough when you get cleared that hard by the AWP. You just got absolutely red.
1 for 1 from Electronic.
So you said it wasn't actually going to be a reset round, right? But Big went for another conservative approach with the weapons. They didn't invest everything they've got. They went for a couple of upgrades here and there. And that hasn't really worked for them. I'm going to be chilling back down on the Deagle and P250 as Crimbo and Mante are the last 2 remaining players. Still over a minute left for Cloud9 to make sure this round is clean. I've been enjoying recently Maniac's sort of hit list of players he doesn't want to IGL. And so far, it's going pretty well for Maniac. He's getting there. He just needs to complete the full bingo card of getting Blame F to go back to the beast mode.
Yeah, what was his list? It was Electronic, Kinder, and Blame Up.
Yes.
He's got 2 of the 3.
I like that list.
Yeah, that's a fair list.
I'd say the one I was most disappointed about going to iGelling was probably Yukindar. That was the player that didn't feel like it was the right time for him to go and do that.
Well, he also has like a completely different play style that seems like, you know, the other guys are a little bit, you know, considered to be slower, considered to be like late round players. Kinder's like, I want to make a play right now.
Yes.
So in some sense, in-game leading from that kind of a guy who's always looking to make a play, always looking to get stuck in early on. Yeah, it does feel awkward.
Well, perhaps someday Maniac will complete the Holy Trinity, but we will return to Big Cloud9 into the rounds where we have guns again on everyone.
Well, there's a Danish in-game leader out there, so maybe he's going to get his wish coming up.
There's a couple of those. Glaive is still there. Can't forget about him.
Yeah. He is still there.
Yeah, he's still there somewhere.
Our boy Glaive, having a good time. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where, if/when he comes back and hops on a team for CS2.
You'd have to say he will at some point. Someone will give him a go. And we'll be looking at taps and having to go to a FAMAS here. It's never nice when you go FAMAS. And we're gonna see the play out of A. Electronic and Axel looked like they wanted to burst through on that, but didn't make the move just yet. Tapson reacting by throwing his own smoke down. Now looking up on top of that boost, and Axel is so sharp that Tapson even started to consider it, but just dealing with Axel's aim is just so hard. Matthew wins the fight versus Shiro, though.
Yeah, that's a big boy kill. That pulls some people back from A main. Also, they look like they wanted to go try and pressure, but they have to recover this bomb, so a little bit cautious and careful as they clear these corners. Crimbo is going to slide up into a new aggressive stance over towards Jaguar. Spotted out by Hobbit, caught in transition.
Yeah, that's rough for Crimbo. You don't like those fights. 40 seconds. Bombs coming back from A over to that B bomb site. It's already arrived at the bottom of the ramp. So now it is either Mantu steps up and sets Sin with a chance to deliver from the cubby, or this round falls apart. And with Mantu getting smoked out, Sin is now isolated, severed off from his support network. And so he has to deliver a massive round here. A massive moment needed for Sin. Hiding in the cubby. They're not checking him for some reason. They don't even consider. They don't look towards him. And Sin's got the kill in Electronic. Essential trade from Axel. And now in the dying seconds of this round, Mantu tried to deny the bomb plant, but doesn't get it done. Does flick out to Perfecto. And now looking to close, it's Axel and Hobbit.
No kit, no utility for the two retakers, but they absolutely have to go for it. So one more smoke comes out. Oh, the okay, he got one. He at least got one.
How did he get one? How did he get one there? Axel stays up long enough just to get a kill. Now Hobbit inside of cave. It's a really strong position here against the AWP. And Mantu realizes that time is ticking on. They don't have the kit on their back.
No,
he's got to run away.
Yeah, no health, no kit, no smoke.
Even if he was to get on the defuse, Hobbit in the cave would just spam him down. You realize you don't have anything working for you there.
Wow, so Cloud9's going to get 3 chances. 3 chances to close out this map.
Terrorists win.
Hobbit dies to the bomb.
Gone down with the ship. They've got so much money.
That's a true captain right there.
That's a true captain. They've got so much money, Cloud9. I don't think it's really... they shouldn't have any financial issues for the rest of this map.
Oh, imagine you get the shot on the bomb.
No,
because there's only 4 seconds when you landed on default spot.
It's a quick shot from Exile.
All right, Hobbit. What's the call? What's the move that's going to get you the victory here and close it here and now? We'll see if he has that answer. Big control this time, looking to be taken by Mantu once more. Did find success in the elbow fight earlier against Shiro, but once again, it's Cloud9 applying pressure out of A main, and Process, taking bullets all around the show. It's kind of a miracle no one dies there.
Yeah, how is he still alive? I feel like 2-3 magazines were emptied into that smoke, and he was just standing into the open.
They rotate back with a bomb on their backs, and the push down ramp coming in from Big. They're already at the double doors, so this could be pretty effective for Big, this move on the CT side, but they've decided they don't want to keep it there.
Yeah, they didn't like the fact that they were so exposed to mid. They do have a couple players there watching that and keeping a track of it.
Oh,
but
now Sin's alone.
close up, gone down, and now you pick up the pace. That's your contact.
Oh, flash out from Crimbo. Needs to make an individual play work here. Just one kill from him. Tapsin able to help him, and the rotation is starting to come through. We'll see if Axel is able to come into the late round here. He's in middle, which leaves Perfecto alone on this site, and this looks too good for Big. Too good to let this one slip away.
Yeah, you need to trim some of these players off. Now there is a smoke. Good shot from Perfecto. Axel just deploys his smoke now. Molotov towards long, smoke towards short. They can actually get this bomb planted, and this is doable. This is winnable for Big. Or excuse me, for Cloud9.
You know, a lot of damage sustained there from both players, especially Axel is now down to 30 health. But he is here now in the round. And Cloud9 have a chance to close it in this moment. Shot from Axel takes out Process. This 4v2 has now fallen to even numbers on either side. Axel pushes out. It's Perfecto to land the shot. And now it is Perfecto to try and close it. He won't do it. And Tabson, the leader of Big, survives. 4 kills, and Big will survive at least for another round.
That's actually awesome from Cloud9. I'm just going to say in that 2vx situation, the way that Electronic and Perfecto are playing with each other, Electronic close up, just kind of baiting, getting attention on him for the follow-up peek from Perfecto. They almost pull that off.
Yeah, I mean, the shot from Axel, when you let him get to this position close to the cube, you know, he's got such sharp aim that you got to feel like there's a chance for Cloud9 to pull off a round like that. It does come down to this, that straight up 1v1 duel, and Tabson has to win it.
Yeah, excuse me, Exile and Perfecto, not Electronic. Could have been Electronic, though.
That's usually the combo.
Yeah, it felt good. Well, that's 4 kills, though. That's a lot of money taken away from Big, and that's a very slow exit in middle. Tapson has gone down for free.
Oh, well, the hero from the last round gone immediately.
No.
And Mansu, that's a massive mistake. Oh, that feels rough. Jumps out of his cover. Axel's always in a position to punish.
And they don't have the weaponry to recover this. Like, this is a nice kill from
But that helps.
That does help, but they know one's in Donut. It's an SMG. Process literally, like, can't fight anything.
Axel, good kill in towards Process at the Donut. Crimbo and Sin, 2v4. The bomb is starting to go back over towards A, and Crimbo slips through CT. That's an essential win. An essential win if they're going to win this round. Crimbo stands now at the default boxes, creeping ever closer to Electronic, who has yet to reveal.
Okay, Shiro's going back.
Now he'll peek.
Shiro's going back to the other bomb site. So, in Hobbit's in middle to cut this all off. So, this should be unwinnable for Sin unless he pulls off something crazy. But plenty of time to get the bomb planted, plenty of time to find safety. And Hobbit's going to be an early warning system of exactly where this retake is going to come to. So, and if you're Sin, you don't clear Red Room.
You don't. Hobbit's got it. That's going to be the kill that closes out map 1. Cloud9 looking strong.
Ancient may have been big speak. Well, that's a very complicated sentence to put together. But Cloud9 said, hell no, we're about to steal this shit. And so they did. In spite of a great start from Big, if we do things linear, it started pretty well. They got into the rhythm quite fast. Cloud9 managed to turn things around.
They did. Quite surprising to me, actually, after watching the first, I'd say, 8 to 10 rounds. It felt like Big were in control. Once again, they were playing very, very smart, calm, collective Counter-Strike. You could feel it was a unit moving around the map. Whenever there was a play, whenever there was a guy going in for a fight, the trade frag was always right there on it. And the utility usage from Big as well. I gotta say, so far in this tournament, I would argue Big have by far the best team play, which makes sense to the degree that in terms of individual players, maybe not on par with Cloud9, but the reason they made this game so close is down to the team play, down to the synergy.
What is also quite interesting, Marcus, I'll bring you into the conversation here. It might have been a 16-13 to Cloud9, which means a very tight game rather. But both pistol rounds won by Big and converted as well. Does that mean Cloud9 was really in control, according to you?
I wouldn't say Cloud9 were in control here. As Jacob says, like Big has had the best team play in this tournament so far, and this is what we have been praising them for a lot. So they had to have some heroic performances from Exile, a few clutches to get back into this. But yeah, a few rounds cost Big here.
And we talk about a few rounds. I believe we have a clear example in mind. Round 11, this is where the story takes a very dark turn for Big, right? They allow Cloud9 to come back into the first half and you wanted to go through it.
It's a turning point, and a lot of stuff is going to happen and transpire in this round. You look at the buy from Cloud9. There's one M4, two M4, sorry, in play. The rest is pistol, so it's a very weak buy. Exile, of course, they were going out, finding the first kill, getting traded instantly. And then you see two different instances. First, it's Electronic finding a kill on Process, who get caught off guard, a little bit unlucky with the timing. Furthermore, you have 3 players from Big now moving up here, and another player is getting caught off guard. There's one mistake being made here. Man2 getting that kill, cool. Don't go in for the second duel. Play with your teammate. There's no reason for that. From this point onwards, Big find themselves in a very uncomfortable position. 20 seconds left, can't get the bomb down. They lose this round, and they end up losing the following 3 rounds as well. As you can see in the round distribution right here, Big were up at this point 7-3, and that's where it all went to shit for the guys, because they ended up losing 5 remaining rounds from the first half. And had that not happened in this round, I think Big would have run away with it. Yeah, you argue they won both pistols. Yeah, they converted both, but they were by far the better team the first 9 rounds in this game.
I mean, I cannot argue down on that. You told me about Exile as well prior to going live here. You were impressed with his performance. The numbers are crazy. 31 kills, more than 110 ADR. This is the Exile that we wanted to see, what we're hoping to see.
Exactly. We had been here in Cloud9. They want to change everything up. They want to test everything before potentially having to make a roster change. And then I think this is a really professional decision. Put an Exile into these more superstar roles instead of being the anger. Make sure he can have some impact. And I love the way that he was contesting Big in middle, down on B ramp. He just wasn't afraid to take space and take some aim duels. And he just did everything good in this game.
Now, I'm going to just come to you, Marcus, with maybe a controversial question, but the playstyle of Exile, on the T side specifically, he's very slow in his lurk. He's very methodical, very patient. Do you think this is a style that works better online, in the quiet, when everything is in comfort? Do you think that's why he might shine a little bit more, or am I just completely off the mark?
I think you're completely off the mark.
Damn!
I think on LAN sometimes it's easier to play lurk, to be more aggressive because of the stadium noises. It's harder to hear the footsteps and so on. But maybe the timing is a bit better because of the confidence, like less nerves and stuff. But I wouldn't say it's easier to lurk online.
All right, fair enough. I gave it a try. That didn't work out. Jacob, Electronic as well, had a couple of moments here where he stood not only in closing rounds, but in entry fragging as well. Are we seeing the first signs of a revitalized Electronic, or am I getting ahead of myself and this is way too early to tell?
Well, you are getting ahead of yourself, and it is way too early to tell, but I like it. You know, I like to see the tendency of Electronic sending upwards. We spoke about it coming into the game. We've seen some small signs of it. This game in particular, he was fantastic, especially on the T side. Sure, we have a couple of highlights from his CT side, but the entry fragging on the T side, as you said, the way he was basically carrying Cloud9 and leading this project in the second half was fantastic from Electronic. It's way too early to say whether or not we get some of the old Electronic back. It's way too early to even, you know, have the debate whether or not he's going to be as good as he was a couple of years ago. But we're starting to see an Electronic that is freed more up, and I like it.
Fair enough. Now we're going to take a bit of a somber route. We hype Cloud9, we praise them for their T side. There is a harsh reality that Big's defense just completely fell apart. What do you think it came down to? There's only 2 main gun rounds they win in the entirety of the half. this was relatively weak from Big.
Yeah, I think they were lacking some individual play here. We see Sin, Process had a great tournament so far. So far in the final, both a bit lackluster on this map, and they need at least one of them to put up bigger numbers here. And it has to be now.
Okay, we're moving on to Anubis. This is Cloud9's pick. It's one of the maps that they've played the most with this roster, so this is looking good for them. But I think the viewers at home should be warned. Big are clients on this map. They've punished ENCE here throughout this tournament. Do you still expect a very competitive affair going on to map 2?
I would say so. I think nothing Big have showed me so far in this tournament suggests that they can't be competitive against Cloud9. As I said, I think they have the best team play out of any team right now. Sure, when it comes down to the individual qualities, I think you're onto something, Marcus, saying that Sin, Process, the guys who did so well in the first couple of games, they may have met their limitations right now. You're going up against Electronic, you're going against Exile, Shiro. There's so much quality right now on Cloud9 that it's going to be very tough for a guy like Process or Sin to make the difference. So I expect Cloud9 to win, but I also expect the game to be competitive, down to the team player Big.
Yeah, and luckily for Big, the third map, if they potentially get there, is Overpass, which is a map that Cloud9 have played 2 times past the last 3 months, and they haven't won it once. So I think Cloud9 has to close the game here and make sure they keep playing the situations right. They don't overestimate themselves and just play it safe in the advantage.
Don't worry about
There's
it.
a lot on the line. It's make
or
or break, of course, for Big. I just wanted to quickly touch on the 2 younglings from Big, Process and Sin. You, with your experience as a player, we've seen them shine in the lead up to this grand final, but now they've been a little bit more quiet. Do you think there's a case of maybe a bit of nerves, realizing what's on the line as part of the full finals? Can that play a role?
I think usually when you had 2 good games as a team and individually for Process in here in this tournament, I don't think the nerves would start getting into you here in the last series. If it was offline, I think the nerves would be there on stage, but I think they're not choking.
They're not choking. Hopefully they will give us a fight in map number 2. I'm a little bit of a quick recap for you guys at home as well. Remember, the Mask MVP polls are open when it comes to EU and Americas, so you can head on over to Blast TV and cast your vote to make sure that, to help us find who's the MVP of these 2 simultaneous tournaments.
Someone help Shiro, right? He's in a bit of a sandwich right there.
Yeah, what the hell? Why is he 1v4? That doesn't seem fair. That doesn't seem fair. But it didn't seem to be a problem for him. It didn't seem to be a problem for Cloud9. They are firmly installed in this grand final, leading up 1-0 and moving on to their map pick. Can they punch their ticket for Copenhagen, or is Big ready to give up more of a fight? We're about to find out. But first, we take a little break.
a chance now for Cloud9 to head to the fall finals in Copenhagen. Crimbo perhaps praying for some divine intervention.
Hydro
And
homie.
Hydro homie Tabson getting fueled up for this. Unicorn odds siding with Cloud9 picking this one up. And I've got to agree after that first map showing.
Yeah, I mean, you got to say they look good on Ancient. Actually, I even just went back because we don't get to see the round timeline as much as we normally get to. There was like a stretch where Cloud9 won like 7 of 8 rounds on that T side. They just went on an absolute tear. And we kind of talked about that, obviously, in the context of Hobbit taking over in-game leading duties, but also the fact that Electronic now having more impact in terms of the fragging department, Axile and Shiro stepping up as well. It seems like this change has made everyone perform a little bit better. Anubis is going to be interesting, though, because that was one of the ones that, you know, Perfecto mentioned by name in terms of maps where some roles have to swap with Hobbit in-game leading so that he can have a little bit better of a vision of what's happening on the map. And he specifically mentioned Hobbit, you know, playing like kind of his lurk towards the B bomb site, not being involved in the action, not having a good feel for the map. This is one on the T side where you're going to see him play a different role. So again, another little moving element to this Cloud9 team that we'll have to see how it does.
Yeah, super interesting times to watch Cloud9. And Big in their pistol have called for the mid-walk. Process at the front of that. Flash pops around the front of the doors. And they've got control right there. The response for Cloud9 is to flash Hobbit out of B main and look for Sin in the blind spot, but Sin comes out with a first kill.
Yeah, that's nice. Hobbit showing a little bit too much ahead of time. That slow kind of peek out towards middle. Now mid is compromised. Electronic is pushing outside of A main. So if this mid play ends up at A, it's a free bomb site. If they go towards B, Cloud9 is going to be in a pretty nice position. And in fact, they are heading towards the B bomb site through Temple.
They are indeed, and Perfecto is ready. It's been a lot of really enjoyable rounds for Perfecto holding the B bomb site. How does he get to do a 360? It's a trick shot for Perfecto. 360 into the dual Berettas and Electronic to close it. That is horrible, really. He's got away with that.
You could have, like, it's like flip a coin. You go A, you win with ease. You go B, you run into this stack. And Perfecto able to get the second kill is nuts.
Look at that. Just, oh, nope. Do a full 360 and then doesn't instantly get the kill either.
It was even like miscommunication. He like turned because like Electronic was like Electronic probably said I'm flanking up dark, and like that like in Perfecto's brain while he was fighting like made him think that he was getting attacked from behind.
Yeah. Well, here's the buyback from Big. They didn't get a bomb plant, so it's not very pretty force buy.
Give him a little tappy. Okay, Scout being held back from seeing Hobbit's progression. Nice kill from Prosis. Oh, and now he's spotted. Deagle from a different angle. Hobbit's got nowhere to go. And Shiro did have to pick up an MP9 a little bit later, but 2 on 3. Big can still try and make this work. The defense is a little bit split across the map. A is being given up for retake purposes. And the rest of Cloud9 is actually just getting information on the map, pushing into canals.
Big want to hang on to the chance at this round win as long as possible, but look at that. Look
Shiro,
at that
yeah,
timing.
he heard the footsteps, and like he peeks up and he just sees a little bit of leg towards the B bomb site.
Yeah, now there's Crimbo walking back over, but they're so ready because they know the play that they're making. They know that last move. And with 45 seconds left, Sin will run towards B main. It's going to be a perfect peek from Electronic. Just as he's fumbling through his grenade set, Electronic takes the kill.
Yeah, he does. Nice job. Hobbit getting aggressive really prevented Big from really doing anything that they wanted to. Very disruptive on the CT side in that round. And now it should just be unarmored Glocks.
Yeah, that's what we'll see. And for Cloud9 to come into the Blast Fall Showdown, I think they were everybody's dark underhorse, as Pimp would say. And I think, you know, you look at the Cloud9 team, but I do feel like you would still side with G2 or Ents making it through. But it's great to see actually Cloud9 coming through and looking like the team that is going to go ahead and grab that spot at the Fall Showdown.
Yeah, it's obviously within touching distance now for C9. Good utility work, good mid defense. Deagle is out, 1 kill happens, Axile falls, and I wonder if they can actually upgrade one of those SMGs too. Didn't know if any of them were close enough, but regardless, 3-0 start for C9.
I think also, Jacob, if you're listening, this would be a great idea. You could, if you opened your own pub, you could call it the Dark Underhorse, and that would be a really cool title of a pub.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah, that'd be really, really sick. Or anything really, a restaurant, something.
A restaurant. Cycling gym.
Yeah, cycling gym. I don't know if that would really be a good title for a cycling gym. But a pub where you can
All right,
cycle.
fine, Dinko. Just shoot down my ideas like that.
Sorry. Sorry, Jason.
All right. Guns are out. AK-47s across the board for Big. Hobbit's playing behind the smoke in towards dark. Got to be a little bit careful. Flashbang sells the presence of the AWP. And Crimbo's going to go for a slow clear. Axel is trying to prime the peak with that flashbang and just gets straight caught. Shiro spinning around, taken down as well. And that's a lost. Gone. Now, it's one player taking control. That's Crimbo, who's already made his way in. But the bomb and the rest of Big is so far away, not able to capitalize at the same pace. So Crimbo's got to hold on, and this is going to give time over to Cloud9 to actually shift into positions where they can actually play to stop this if they want.
Tapson sends the Molotov out towards that CT rotate. It is going to spread to Perfecto. It looked like he was suddenly in a comfortable spot, and then all of a sudden the fires just erupt around him and he has to run away.
That was some violent fire as well. It took that HP out real quick, and that's the save call immediately after that. He's like, okay, I don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to be here. I'm gone.
See ya. And it did kind of all happen so quick. That round was over so quickly on the A bomb site.
Yeah, I was surprised Shiro didn't seem prepared for Crimbo to be in the water. It's like he was aiming for the swing off of a flashbang or aiming for someone to be on the boards. And for whatever reason, that little element of communication from Axal's death never got passed over. So 3-1. But that's not a round that Big really had to do a whole lot, right?
No,
like
true.
That's the aggression from Cloud9 that just gets destroyed, and then obviously it's a walk in the park.
But that's quite often Big's sort of philosophy on the T side as well, is kind of let them make the mistake, walk into us. We're going to pound the brakes at the start of the rounds, and here it is. Crimbo just crouch peeking, gets Axel out of A main.
That is such a tiny dot for a crosshair.
Yeah, you can barely see it.
It gives me a headache even trying to keep track of it.
But yeah, Crimbo doesn't sit that close to the monitor either, does he? It looks reasonable. Over the years, let's reflect. This could be the last CSGO map in for Big and Cloud9. Let's look over the years. The worst posture, I'm gonna give it to Bondic. That was the craziest of all.
Bondic?
Yeah, the way Bondic used to sit at the PC.
Oh yeah, he does sit like a little goblin king, doesn't he?
Goblin mode, indeed. Look it up if you guys aren't familiar with Bondic.
Yeah, if you guys haven't memorized Bondic's seating position, yeah, Google it. I guess.
Bondic sitting down. Here's Process putting in pressure in dark. Hobbit's going to be forced out of there, and the smoke's coming down as well. So Process is blocked from dark for the time being. Looks like they're still comfortable just keeping this one slow, Big. There's still a full minute left. Tabson sure's got the ball on his back outside of B. But a lot of presence elsewhere.
Mid take. And previously, when we saw Big play Anubis, a lot of the impact and a lot of like the really heavy impact that they were deploying on the T side was Tabson and Sin demolishing defenses in middle.
Yeah, that's true. But Cloud9 don't have anybody.
I believe that was against Ents.
Yeah, it would have been. They got that victory over them a couple of times now. 16-14 in the first win, 16-10 this time, and Shiro, good hold in dark. Gonna go back again, Shiro's not leaving. Shiro finally falls, but Crimbo with 10 seconds would have to sprint and immediately start planting. Cloud9 will be aware of this. He's actually gonna play for the kills instead. No, he had a shot. Crimbo had a chance to win it. Axel just needs to keep his head around the corner, and that's what he does. There were a couple of scary moments there right at the end.
Yeah, I thought Axel was actually going to swing out a little bit too early and give him an actual fight. Low HP, low percentage chance that Crimbo actually won that follow-up as well, and I think Axel's gone to pick up the op for Shiro. Nice hold of Dark. That was everything. Double kill for Shiro, even eating a flashbang, taking the risk just so he can get another one right here. Stands tall, sees vision, comes back, gets one more as they turn the corner.
And you can see the AWP of Mantu is just not looking in that corner, because why would you be looking for the AWPer moving into that corner? Usually you just see the AWPer draw back each and every time.
Yeah, there was enough time for Shiro to fall all the way back, which is, I think is what you're getting at too, is just Mantu expecting that he completely retreated. Shiro's been spotted and knows that smoke is not a wall, so backs away completely.
rare sighting of the default 9. Now Crimbo's turn. Ooh, tries to be a little bit more proactive and taking space towards A main. Got very close to the A bomb site, but eventually finds his maker, and it is Shiro and Axel to fall to Process.
With a Galil.
Yeah, that's the extra bit, isn't it? Oh, that really makes that one horrible.
Yeah, I don't think Axel had HUD armor, so that headshot does tons of damage and just chews through him. But the fact that you take down two of the best players on Cloud9 like that with that engagement, not ready for that follow-up peak. And now it's on Electronic, who's kind of popped over to try and stem the bleeding of this defense, and it ain't gonna happen. Him and Perfecto go down. But give all the credit in the world to Process. That's a beautiful pair of entry kills.
Wow, so unbelievable, really. You know, Crimbo dies so easily. You think it's gonna be a pretty great start for the round on Cloud9's side, and then suddenly Process is like, all right, I guess we gotta at least try and trade this, and I don't think he was expecting to get a double.
Yeah, that timing from the initial engagement from Crimbo was much faster than anyone from Cloud9 expected, certainly from what Axile expected. But the follow-up as well was completely like Shiro turns that corner, not expecting to have a fight at that point, just not peeking it with intent, taken down, and same with Axile.
As with everything in the big changes and breaking news of Counterstrike, you want to check in with the community geniuses and consensus, Jason. I see a thread right there. It's called Elec No IGL. So I wonder, based on that headline, what is the take here from the Dragon Slayer of Doom?
C9 playing like gods.
It's a great take coming at you live from the Dragon Slayer of Doom, spelled TH3 underscore.
Yeah, he's loving it.
Oh, really got in a big discussion there as well.
Yeah, it's gone down. It's gone deep. It's got a lot of people fired up.
That's incredible.
Back to pistols for LAIGL.
Elec, the way you use that 5.7 Electronic.
Where's Axile and Hobbit? The two M4s. So one is at this B bomb site, just now pushing out and clearing things. And Tabson might be in a little bit of trouble, although they're not really progressing forward. Tabson holding this nade for a long time and not even checking behind him, being very large assumption that no one is pushed out of the B bomb site, but that's a good find. Turns and Perfecto's trying to make the dash back to the site. Can't make it. A bomb site is wide open. And Big is going to find that and rejoice, for they will have a third round.
I guess this is pretty sick from Big. The game plan is go A. A couple of times now it's worked. So they're in the A bomb site. And they've got the round. So Cloud9 on the other side of the map. They've got a couple of pieces that you'd like to carry over to the next round. That is Axel's M4 and Hobbits.
You have some competition for your little contest of worst posture in Counter-Strike. Chat, being 4 minutes behind us,
Chiron?
Have now mentioned Yabby.
Yabby?
Yeah, that's your dark underhorse for...
That is a
for
dark underhorse.
Posture.
All right, well... I suppose he can be an honorable mention because I'm the one that controls this.
It is in fact my award to give out.
Yeah.
This is the Dingo Award.
But yeah, I'll take it into consideration, and
Yeah.
he'll be in the top two.
Your
I
opinion
guess.
will be considered and discarded equally in the same measure.
On the scale of 1 to the Dragon Slayer of Doom's opinion. It'll be in the middle, I suppose.
You hear that, chat? Dinko doesn't respect your opinions on player posture.
Well, maybe that one person. No. Keep the opinions coming. Everybody wants to read them. There's such a delay on it, though. So, yeah, you might not even be in the chat anymore. So,
No, we're interacting with the past, really.
It's kind of
when we
sick.
do this.
We can speak to the past or the future, I guess.
Yeah, it's like time travel. All right, well, A once again is wide open. Hobbit and Axile still with those M4s throughout these, not save rounds for Cloud9, but they're like low buys that you're going to see some risky moves, trying to find the right positioning. So not the largest priority for Cloud9 to fight.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, what a timing. What a timing. Sin had utility out, and now this is doable. Now Cloud9's like, okay, these rifles put us in this position to actually win this round. Now we can pick up the pace. Now we can actually try and exert some influence. And Shiro has a chance to catch Sin.
Oh, Sin, what a risky play to come down the stairway instead of Rux, and that's going to walk right into what Shiro, right into his hands, and they know where Crimbo is now.
1v3, 1 minute left. He hasn't picked up the bomb, but he's got control of it. And Cloud9 need to be patient.
Crimbo needs to be patient. He's gonna wait for his pick. There's Hobbit. Oh no, he thought he got the kill.
That was clean. I bet he lost track of the dot.
Yeah, it was the dot. He didn't even know where his crosshair was on the screen.
It disappeared on him when
Oh my! He needs a clutching crosshair. You know, you need a bind that just changes your crosshair into clutch mode. And he would have won that one.
we have that with crazy old Elige,
No way.
who not for clutch modes, but he uses right hand. I'm trying to think what is it correct? He uses his right hand for tapping, but he switches to a left-handed model when he gets into a spray battle.
Well,
Or
at
when
least
he
he's gonna
thinks
fall off in CS2.
Yeah, CS2 is going to be a little bit tough.
You're
for
gonna
that.
just see at least become the one tap
His
god.
spray is going to be ugly. This spray is well, it was cool at the start, and then he got blind, and then it got ugly. But Electronic is still here to try and pick up the pieces inside the A bomb site, hanging behind the cake, and Sin has closed the gap so swiftly.
Yep, Shiro burned down to 9 health. A is free, it feels like. Big just getting through each and every time. And it's strange to see because it is really strong players holding it. You know, Axel's there, Electronic. And I actually like the Big have come in today with a game plan to attack the A bomb site. Because if you look back at Cloud9's win they had on Anubis, you've seen a lot of the big B holds from Perfecto, for example, was really, really difficult to break apart on that B site. And they've just avoided that. So
I wonder if it is like a game plan or if they're just like, oh,
it just keeps going that way, maybe?
We just keep winning, so why not continue to go back to it?
I mean, yeah, they did run a couple of attempted B splits earlier in this half, so
Well, I mean, you can't ever make a game plan where it's like all to one bomb site, right? But like if you get the sense in preparation that their A bomb site is weak, or if you see a couple things you want to exploit over there, yeah, you'll probably run more of those tactics. But at the moment, I think they're just riding the wave of being like, yeah, they can't stop us at A. Which is a little bit crazy considering it's been Shiro and Exile there for a number of these attacks, and even they haven't been able to handle it.
Yeah, and at this moment in time, if you're Cloud9, you're doing everything you can to figure out how to figure out that A defense. Ult for Mansu. Holding for some mid-correction on the CT side. Smokes deep up. Here comes the boost. Mantu climbing atop. Not seeing anything, not giving the shot. Not yet, at least. How long does he want to hold this? Perhaps long enough to allow his teammate in the form of Sin to get close to the doorway, which he'll cut open. It's Shiro that falls. Sin reads the second player. Electronic wasn't ready for that. And Sin has got so much control for Big. They're cutting right through mid. Perfecto. They brought him over to A. Perhaps this was the move that they had in mind. He gets 2 kills. Hobbit unleashes the MP9. And now to the AWP. This will be a 1v3 for Hobbit. Nearly hits the shot on the cross, but not to be.
The smoke didn't extinguish the Molotov immediately. That gives so much time over to Big. Chucks it deep, but one's already made it out to heaven, to his close left. And that's an off angle you can just park yourself in and wait and chill.
It feels rough now for Hobbit to win this round because it's hard to read where Process has gone. And that is towards CT. He can peek out. He'll have a good angle. Great spot in the post plant. And Hobbit just couldn't figure out where he got off to. So smart positioning from Process and a great opener from Sid.
Actually, I think that's almost like... That's such a bummer because I feel like that round, I mean, it should have been, feels like it should have been cleaner at a certain point, but at the same time, 2 players in middle for Cloud9 and 2 at the A bomb site. That's like a setup that you do to shore up the A bomb site. Like at one point, like you shouldn't really be losing that round. You can almost see it in Perfecto as he just shakes his head. But on the other one, like it felt like Big handled it so well that actually they should have probably won that with like 3 players surviving it at minimum. Still, you'll take all those victories, especially ones like that that cause the economic reset. Back to pistols, no armor for Cloud9.
Here's the chance for Crimbo. Of course, sees the second. Axel is too thick at the back, so they've seen him. And Crimbo will get a double. Sin cuts off Hobbit. And the USP round goes exactly as expected, really. Nice and quick. Like a hot knife through butter. And it's Big cutting through Cloud9.
I do like butter.
I love butter. But when we went to the cinema in the US, Jason, I discovered there's butter machines. And those are crazy.
Like that?
Yeah, it's like I can just pour hot butter
All over your popcorn. It's not even real butter.
No, it's not. I don't even know what it is. It's some sort of chemical. It's just a liquid of some sort.
It's artery clogging material that we like to install at pretty much everywhere that you can go. And then you get the spread of powdered flavorings So if you want like some ranch flavoring on there,
That is cool. That is cool.
Buffalo sauce flavoring, sour cream and onion if you want that route. Beer cheese that can go on there.
We have
It's great.
salt.
Yeah,
That's it.
that's a good start.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of where we started and finished. No, sweet and salty. Sweet as well. We have sweet in there sometimes. And now it is pretty sweet for Cloud9 to get the rifles back. They've got the AWP for Shiro in particular. He's been quiet on this map, but that doesn't really seem to last long. Eventually, Shiro will get into this.
Yeah, you better hope so. If Cloud9 want to close this one out in 2. Dark control is there. Hobbit evacuated just before Process made his move, but he's happy showing that kind of a presence. That'll make this defense a little bit nervous. Oh, Hobbit, eat a nade and some spam. That's the worst feeling in the world.
Yeah, eating spam sucks. Doesn't taste very nice. And now, while you're taking your time, Big, you've got all the time to work with. And the space towards B that you want to set up this perfect B split. This defense will be tested, and it's Electronic going in towards Dark. Sees the AWP. He takes damage from it and finished off by the rifle of Process. So we've talked about how good Perfecto can be in these holds. Well, now he's got to do pretty much everything on his own.
Yeah, his backup's got 12 HP, so we better see Perfecto with a perfect round, and that ain't gonna happen, the poor guy. Time to back away and save these guns, because you ain't winning this round.
Yeah, we're sending reinforcements. We're sending reinforcements. And they send Hobbit.
Yeah,
12
Hobbit's like, great, the reinforcements are here, I'm out.
Yeah, all right, that's what we've got. All right, it's gonna roll over, I think.
I rotated all the way over to this bomb site to be the only one here.
Yep. Well, 7 rounds now for Big. Obviously, T-side of map, but at the moment, Big looking pretty dominant.
Yeah, look, I mean, they seem to have gotten a grip on this match and really leaning out. I think a lot of it also stems from how much success they had over towards the A bomb site, because now at this stage in the half, like if you're Cloud9, you really have to be worried about that A bomb site, which is going to open up everything else. And I think Big realized that, right? Like the round that they win going in towards middle, where it's Electronic and Shiro in mid and 2 over at the A bomb site, they win that in the eventual 1v1. That's like their signal of like, look at the shift that Cloud9 just had. We fought 4 people in middle and A. Like they've actually put some emphasis on it. So now we can switch things up, go elsewhere on the map, and we should be able to find some easier things.
It's kind of crazy that Cloud9 decided to pick Anubis against Big as well, considering the kind of form Big have been going on. They've really enjoyed the vetoes, I think, in this showdown. They get to pick Ancient, and then ENCE have picked Anubis, and now Cloud9 have done that. And they're very comfortable on Anubis, so this veto is very nice for Big in the first 2 maps.
Well, Cloud9's in kind of a weird place with their vetoes, right? Because the team has been so lackluster since this new roster came together. Like, even that lineup never really had the map that they established any kind of dominance or any kind of, effectiveness on. And then all of a sudden you make this switch into Hobbit as the in-game leader. And once again, like, you just have to go back to, you're probably vetoing for what Hobbit feels comfortable calling more than what's best for the matchup, Like you're still kind of picking for yourself more than anything than thinking about big picture.
You've only got a little picture at the moment to work with. And Sin again gets through mid, so close towards the double door. And there's a lovely gap in that smoke for Sin to work with as he looks deep into camera. We've seen a couple of change-ups here for Cloud9 too on the CT side. Axel, who was really struggling towards A, has a friend nearby this time around, and Crimbo's gonna push. Has a little peek, doesn't commit to the fight. Now Shiro's turn as he comes through dark. It's gonna be the rifle walking right in front of him. Shiro gets the trade-off on Hobbit's death. Essential kill, really, and this fight is won this time by Cloud9.
Yeah, Crimbo came back into it. Now towards middle, another isolated duel. That one's won by Sin. Wild spray from Perfecto. Oh, Sin's got an avenue all the way around this A bomb site because Electronic's being so slow over towards beach. Shiro hears the footsteps, and he's basically...
Look how uncomfortable he is.
The bomb's alone in mid, however. This could still get really, really weird. Now it's coming through Temple. Shiro has it all to do.
Yeah, he needs this kill at CT. They're really trying to get that. Electronic comes in just the right time to help him. Now Shiro can focus on Temple. The bomb is stuck in there at the moment, and Tabson's play to save the day is not going to happen. There's not enough time here for Mansu. He realizes that he'll tuck his tail between his legs and try and run away.
Look at the hunt.
Yeah, the hunt is truly on. A train of Cloud9 players coming in behind. It looks like Mansu's going to get his shot to keep it.
That flank all the way around through CT spawn had to happen quicker. He took so much time just like jiggle peeking, trying to bait out that shot that Electronic made it all the way from A to take him down from behind. Cool idea, though. Very, very cool idea. Gobby getting involved in the chat. First time out for Big. They haven't really had too many issues, so they haven't really had to burn any of these, but now the first one's out there.
I think being in the team with Gobby, giving you a sort of a speech and a timeout would be really fun. You know,
Yeah.
Because he's the kind of guy that just bubbles up everything that he's watching, and he's a very emotional guy, obviously, in the game, and he's probably just sitting there, and the fact he can only talk in timeouts, I can only imagine the energy he brings to those 30 seconds he can actually have an input in the game.
Well, you know, we do events with these guys every once in a while. We can have Gobby give you a pep talk if you want. We'll make some content out of it. Gobby, show us what the pep talks are, baby.
Yeah, it was that was great. I was watching old Gobby frag movies from way back in the day as well. You know, the old games of 1.6 when Gobby used to frag out. Now Hobbit's turn to try and frag out on this B push right in towards Mantu. Hobbit's gone. Shiro's response is perfect. Electronic also stepping up for Cloud9, and this is a very fast start to the round, considering what we've become used to is big, kind of slow approach, not really risking many lives. Now they've lost 2 already. How do they respond to this kind of play? And they go into middle, into Electronic. It is 1 for Electronic, traded out by Sim, but Axel's close by at the doors, and this one is most likely going nowhere. But Crimbo, he has a shot.
Yeah, this round's been a thing of beauty for Cloud9.
Yeah.
However, money still isn't set, and there's only 1 more round after this, so Crimbo, any kills are going to matter. And obviously, you're going to be now delayed by the smoke that's in this choke point. Here, these footsteps, though. Come on through. Oh.
Well, he had that one.
That sucks.
Really does.
That's like the signal when you're in the 1v3 and a nade lands on you, you're like, well, I'm not meant to win this round, am I?
Well, they know where I am. They know where you are, Crimbo. That Molotov
Double peek.
will confirm it, and the double peek does come in. Perfecto nails the headshot. It's kind of crazy. Cloud9 could actually go into this second half with a 1-round lead again. It kind of felt like that on Ancient, too, didn't it? In that first half, where it felt like Big were more in control of the game, but Cloud9 were finding ways to round wins towards the end of the half.
Yeah, actually, you're right. Like this feels like Big has been dominant for so much of the recent stretch that their T side has actually looked great. Like it feels like Cloud9 has just been barely clinging on to like keeping this close, but now they have a chance to have a lead into the second half, which is pretty wild. Obviously helped out a lot by the pistol round and the 2 ensuing conversions.
Pistol round's importance. And Mansu, quick towards A main. Flash is going to set him up for the peak. That's a lot of control.
Oh, smoke.
Smoked off. Hobbit loves a push like this, doesn't he? There he goes again.
It's like maybe the 3rd or 4th time we've seen him in this.
Oh, timing.
Dude, oh, Lord, that is a quick shot.
Yeah, that's great for Process. Sure, unlucky. They're going to check this setup. They know. Can't get away with that.
Well, I think also like the positioning of Shiro might have given that away, right? Like he's pushed out in the open, in no man's land. Like he's not like positioned in dark, just holding an angle.
Yeah, like you surely he's not doing that without some help.
Yeah, well, you also only really do that when someone's cleared off to that left, right? Like so it gives all the signals over that Big needs. So 5 on 3. After they get slowed down at the A bomb site, they wanted to hit that with numbers. They come back to mid and find some easy frags on Shiro and Hobbit. And now the pause button, looking for the reactions.
Perhaps they'll hit resume soon as Crimbo begins to creep ever closer to the position of Perfecto. And this rifle needs to strike true, and it will. Perfecto on the double. Bomb is now down, and they've drawn this right back into a winnable round for Cloud9. Perfecto doing everything he can. Perhaps they will turn this half into a favorable one for Cloud9 CT side. Do they see the second player? They will not check Electronic, and Tapson, who has had 1 kill in this half, needs to triple that total kill count. And there he goes. Kill on Electronic. Can Tapson give them the edge? Time is ticking, and Axel will close. Cloud9 will exit the first half of Anubis with the round advantage.
Gobby in tears.
Of Counterstrike ready to rejoice as Copenhagen's coveted crown ready to be claimed. The return of the Royal Arena and a chance for a new monarch to now be occupying the throne.
It's time to open up the Royal Arena!
Reds will be stopped first. He sees the fate. It's 3. Ice cold
Robs!
Cadian, does he realize he's close? Oh! Cadian in front of the home crowd.
Show match is underway. Oh, but what's that?
The savior! It's Niklas Bentner! Simple, he's taken down Gate as well. Dupree keeps going, the time has run out!
Tonight, a Dane will win in this Royal Arena. Wow, what a matchup this could truly be. History's gonna be made.
Come new Copenhagen! Let's get rowdy!
And it's Rain inside the corner. The stoic giant of FaZe denied.
Give it up for your fall finals champion, Heroic!
That half was going so comfortably for Big, then suddenly jump scare. And Cloud9 are back into it, Jason.
Yeah, they are right back into it. That I mean, they kept along okay. It's just like there's that stretch.
There's never really consistent on the CT side.
There's that stretch. It was like 7 of 9 rounds won by Big and like looking really clean, finding open A bomb sites, decimating any pushes that Cloud9 was trying to bust out with, and really Cloud9's just kind of barely able to scrape the last 2 rounds together. Let's see what the offense looks like. Oh, they turn early. They were expecting a flashbang that didn't come. 2 for 2 trade so far. Sin's gonna grab one more. That's the bomb down. And now all of a sudden Cloud9's on a recovery mission.
Oh, Crimbo, gunslinging, unable to do much. Perfecto gets the pick that draws it back, and there's so much time left, but they're trying to run back. But look, oh, Sin, this is it. This is the corner play that's going to win this, surely. But they've actually diverted him by going around rugs. Now, I'm sure he's going to hear the steps. That will cause the reaction from Tapson, but this could actually still work out for Cloud9 here. This could still work out, but Sin, oh, he's got to hit that. You really got to hit those. Oh, he's absolutely fluffed it, but here's Tapson trying to get it back. 1 health left on Electronic. What is this pistol round? Finally, it's over, and Tapson, oh, he wins it.
That was way too stressful. Way too stressful.
God.
Considering the shots that Sin hit in middle, for him to struggle and just miss all those later on was a bit dicey. Still, they get away with it. Tapson to clutch, and we're all tied up again.
You get to see this again. So these are the Sin highlight shots. And pretty clean, very quick to kill.
Yeah, immediate. Yeah. First bullet, some would say.
Yeah, and we dodged the other one, so that's good.
Yeah, we didn't throw the whole bus at him. Just a couple.
Ooh, Glocks, Jason. That's all Cloud9 have.
Yeah.
Usually Cloud9 would go for a bomb plant on the T side of pistol, and then you see the force spike come in, get the Galils out. They didn't get it, so they've gone for the more conservative approach as well. So they haven't gone for that weak Tech 9 force spy.
Papa Perfecta with that deagle.
Yep, let's see if it's going to be impactful. Or if it's going to end up doing nothing here.
Molly's going to put an end to everything as soon as the flashbang comes into dark.
MP9?
No one can cross except for Shiro.
Yeah.
Apparently doesn't care about fire. He's the fire walker.
Well, eventually it'll get
Okay,
him.
yeah,
You know,
take
anybody who thinks they can play with fire will always find out the hard way they can.
Let that be a lesson to you,
Yeah.
kids.
Don't play with fire unless you're expertly trained. 45 seconds. And, well, this round really isn't going anywhere. So, yeah, it's cool to see.
What else have you got for your end of CSGO awards? We had posture.
Right, we have posture. All right, yeah, this could become a whole thing. Let's do best.
Patsy plays with his monitor crooked.
Yeah. Best
But
config, maybe?
I think he's the only one. I don't know enough about configs to be involved in that, but
yeah, I mean, you have like Mezzi who walks forward with his mouse.
okay, I
Click
see what you mean.
one,
Like
know.
craziest, craziest,
Wildest setting.
Yeah.
I think Mezzi would win. He's pretty weird. Basher, I think, has a pretty weird one too. So.
That just reminded me. There was that Reddit post years ago, like about Shox's config. Oh, they're gonna get the bomb plant now. This ain't bad. Hold the thought. We'll get back to Shox's config in a second. One more. One more. Oh, all right. Well, there was that Reddit post like a while back that was like, why the hell does like Shox play with like Z as like move forward and like Y as like move backwards? I forget exactly what the keys were, and it's because the guy like didn't realize that he uses like a French keyboard layout, so like the keys are all together on his own keyboard. But this guy's like, wow, he uses 4 keys.
So I'm gonna copy. I'm gonna copy Shox's keyboard.
He's like, I'm trying to use this keyboard and it just doesn't make any sense.
How does he do this? It's even more impressive.
I just wonder how many rounds it took while he was just like trying to like, you know, put his fingers on all the different movement keys.
That's so good. That's actually, if he even managed to move around, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it would be legendary.
You know? Yeah, a couple of I always hate using international keyboards because, you know, American keyboard to the UK one's fine. You know, there's just a couple of changes, but the German keyboard, that's real weird. You've kind of changed a bunch of letters around.
You know, I've had to learn to use the German keyboard after working with German companies for so many years.
Yeah, it's a skill that you've learned, Jason.
I just instead of changing it, I just figured it out.
Add that one to the
pure
CV.
Frustration. Yep.
If I ever need to work in an office in Germany, I can use your keyboard. Yeah. Well, this is going to be a good round for Cloud9 coming up with it when it comes to buys, thanks to that bomb plant and a couple of kills that Perfecto got. So you can get the AWP out, you can get all those guns out around it. So AK's utility. This is where the real fun starts in the second half.
That's actually a really damaging round for Big to take, especially considering that was, what, like a 5-on-3 or 4-on-3, I guess it would have been. Because Shiro did get that one kill.
Yeah, he got that one top.
Here we go. Challenger with the AWP very quickly. Smoke to provide cover for Temple. Flashbang is dodged. Second flashbang is dodged. And that gives Shiro the feeling that they want to be a bit aggressive on this. I feel like that smoke actually kind of helps him.
Shiro scoped up, waiting for the time to strike. Yet to see a big player commit to his crosshair. Now his team begins to set up the execute. The utility going in. No one presenting a chance.
This has actually taken so much utility away from this defense, though, right? Like, we've seen like 3 or 4 flashes thrown at Shiro. 2 smokes have been used. Sin's going to find the first kill over in middle. And actually, this defense is playing this so smart, like so disciplined to not even venture to take a glance.
It's frustrating here for Shiro, for sure. You know, he's just on the edge, just waiting for that chance to strike. And here they go into the fight at dark. It's Axel that gets one, but Big are coming out on top of these. They're 4v2 right now, and eventually when Shiro gets his chance to get a kill with the AWP, he doesn't land it, and it's now 1v3 for him. Ooh. Oh, they're giving him a chance, though. They're giving him a kill back.
Yeah, that's not necessary from Man 2.
Limited time.
30 seconds. Shiro's got a long way to go. He's going to head towards middle, and Crimbo's waiting at an off angle. And at this point, if you're sure, you don't want to scope up until you see someone. So Crimbo's going to have a great advantage in this fight. It's a tough off angle to deal with in the best of times, and not able to manage it. 10-8 for Big.
That was so close as well. I feel like just a millisecond more, and Shiro looked dead on there.
Yeah, we saw that scope come out.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a really good round from Big overall. You know, winning those initial fights, how disciplined those dark players were, and how effective they were in trading out one another. Good stuff from Big. And that was actually a bit of a bonus round from Big too, right? They didn't have their full arsenal they would have liked to brought to the table. Still have FAMAS in there. Now they don't have that. Now it's the full buy. And Cloud9, their first gun round, doesn't look good. So Tech9's and a Mac 10 here for Hobbit.
Yeah, it's a cool round though. I like that from Cloud9. Just you have Shiro with an option, like, yeah, bro, go chill B main. Like someone's gonna peek at some point. Unfortunately, they were wrong. Big was playing it very disciplined. So now here for Cloud9, damage can be victory in and of itself if they can prevent this money from growing, because Big is destitute behind this investment.
On through the mid doors, Mantu drops back further into the A-bomb site, and he has the help of Sin, so it's comfortable. They aren't going to fall to the problem that could arise with Tech9s. They've lost the bomb, Cloud9. And they're going to slip a little closer through the net. Axel runs into Crimbo, and Mantu's there to sink him. So the round is done. Big stop the risk. And Cloud9 not really getting anywhere at the moment. This defense looks very solid. It's a brick wall at the moment they've got to break through. Yeah.
And we kind of touched on it coming into this map when Cloud9 was on the CT side, so we'll just say it again here now that we switched. This is one of the maps where there was actually some form of role swaps in terms of positions on the map, with Hobbit become an in-game leader because he doesn't want to be parked at B. He wants to have a better view of what's happening around the map. So a couple new things for this T side from Cloud9. Second timeout used by Big.
And again, that conversation being had from God B. Now the timeout done. Just wanted to make sure they keep things tight, perhaps anticipating some of the changes that Cloud9 might throw in on this next gun round here. But yet to see Cloud9 even do anything on the T side. That can't surely be the case for long.
Here we go.
No op for Shiro. AKs on every player. And an opening again for Big. That's not the start you want. It makes this round a lot more difficult for Hobbit to call. He lost Electronic immediately.
Yeah, not ideal. Nice pick, though, from Mantu. That op starting to have a little bit more of an influence. And patience from Cloud9 now, as they try and talk over how exactly they want to make up for this deficit. Perfecto. He's hoping for a push that's not going to come. Look like Sin might give it to him. He's on the other side of the wall. I think in this kind of a situation for Cloud9 where you've lost Electronic, it feels like you have to let this utility wait out. You don't really want to take the risk of executing through a smoke, so you're going to wait for the utility to fade away and then try and apply pressure. Looks like through darkness first. That's a good kill to get. Prosis making a mad dash, but Tapson's in a very strong position.
He is in a very strong position and helped out by the fact that Sin has just dropped and created enough of a distraction because the bomb has fallen to the ground and they have to run back and get it. And it gives Big every fight they need and they win them.
It might be going to a third map. That'd be overpass.
It looks like we are kind of heading there, doesn't it?
This, Big looked really, really good on their T side. It felt like they should have had a better score, but switching over, this defense early going has just absolutely destroyed and demolished all the early gun rounds from Cloud9.
They're just suffering to get opening kills on this T side.
Yeah, the best round they had was 4 Glocks and a Deagle.
That's true. And it was never even a question whether they could win that at any point, really. Yeah, it's been a terrible T side so far from Cloud9. And they might just suffer another loss here in the opening fight. In fact, it's the other way around. Perfecto. He's got a kill on Tapson, and this is the way. This is the way they get back into it.
Why?
Oh my God. They take a risk. They push forward. They try to give them a fight early, and Cloud9 win.
Why would you do that? It was all going so well.
That's, it's going too well. Sometimes you need a little problem in your life, Jason.
Yeah,
you create one by yourself.
That feeling like things are going too good. Something's going to go wrong soon. So I'll just self-sabotage.
Yes, exactly. And that's what happened. Tapson did it.
Counterstrike really is just like life. Crimbo is going to push forward. He's got cover of the AWP behind him, but Cloud9 is on this hunt. What a gift to be given. A round like this where you're struggling to find anything. Oh my God.
What a shot. Not from Hobbit. From Mantu. Shiro loves the idea of having an ult, though. He loves the idea, and he'll thank Mantu very much for the one-day delivery. And Crimbo gets caught at the end, too. Goodbye, everyone. And yeah, frustrating there from Crimbo, wondering why. Why is that round happen?
I'm wondering why that round happened like this.
Yep. I think everybody is collectively. I think it's just one of those moments where you make a mistake and you don't really know why you did it, and that's it. That's tabs and gone. No trade potential.
He might have. I guess the one thing I could think of would be like if they just kind of executed, they just wanted to take like a fight and have like an advantaged peak with a flashbang, and then he saw nothing was there, so he's like, oh, I actually have an opportunity to like
keep going.
Yeah, have all the information, checkmate it before it even begins, and obviously he was dead wrong, so it looks a little bit silly.
All right, you still have a few rounds to play with there. So you've been so good on the CT side, so you have another buy round.
Look at the money taken away.
Yep, that is true. With all the damage, you're now down to this buy, and if you lose this, Cloud9 are right back in the game, and well, that's a fantastic start to the round. Shiro and Electronic with 2 openers. Crimbo can't do anything. It is Shiro just lighting up the scoreboard now.
And now you broke.
Physically and financially. Really is like life.
Yeah, this that push in the last round just now all of a sudden just really feels horrible. Cloud9 is already on the hunt, so this will be 12-10. And then there's going to be a round of Big having no money, and I mean, depending on how they want to play it, they can force buy and save one more. So I mean, that last round push might have been the beginning of Cloud9 tying this up essentially.
It is crazy at this level of CS. You know, one mistake can cost you so much.
Yeah.
In terms of seeing that domino effect happen.
And then you come back and Cloud9 put together their first good gun round on this map, and it just comes at the worst possible moment if you're Big.
You just got to stay composed. You just got to stay in the right mindset. But you know you're going up against the most likely 11-round tier for Cloud9.
Yeah, and Big does invest due to not having a whole lot of money. Mantu saves some cash for native UP, but the losing bonus isn't fully built up. So you're going to get armor and pistols, deagles, like some pieces of utility. But obviously a huge advantage for Cloud9 in this round. They win this, next round's a full save, and then all of a sudden it's 12-12 when you get your next buyout. Rough stretch for Big.
And Cloud9 realizes there's a risk of losing these kind of rounds too, so they're taking their time. And maybe they walk into an A stack. Oh, that would be rough. Feels like they have enough fallback plans and a lot of time. Shiro's going to see 2 players stacked to the back of the bomb site. Now they've seen way too many. Cloud9 should start to think about a different play here, and that's where the bomb is going. Away from A main. Axel has sacrificed himself defending Shiro on the AWP. But they're staying there. They're hoping that the Big rotated away, but the bomb is staying fixated upon this A bomb site.
There's plenty of time, and they're going to start setting up a split, right? They have 2 players in middle now. Big is starting to shift, and they're going to shift right back into this mid play. Those deagles, those pistols can still do some work. I take it all back. Perfecto and Electronic handle business. 12-11. This round is no investment from Big, and we going to be tied up.
Yep. So there was moments throughout that round where there was a world in which Big pick it up. But Cloud9 stay composed. They don't rush into any decisions.
That push, it's so stupid.
Yeah.
Chat just got to, or the stream just got to it, so I'm just watching everyone.
Everyone's
what the hell? I'm like, yeah, I'm right there with you. I have no idea what that was about.
What just happened?
And it's all led to this moment where it's going to be tied up, where Big have nothing to fight with.
Wait till they get to that part.
And
Jason.
map 2 is back on. Now it's anyone's game.
Yeah, it really is. In fact, at the moment, I think that those kind of rounds really mess your mind up. So I'd probably even slide it with Cloud9 now. Perfecto, warmed up. You love getting a couple of kills like that. And it is Crimbo on the other side of the map. That is 12-12. Oh, he's got the Zeus now,
He
Jason.
does have a Zeus. That's fair. That's fair play. He's getting flanked, though.
Yeah, Axel's always where you don't want him to be.
Did we bring up the Zeus cam?
Zeus cam.
Anytime a player has a Zeus, we get to his cam.
I like it. That's what we reserved that for.
Shout out to production.
Yeah, they were just like, I have a sick idea. We can have a Zeus camera.
Let's see what his face looks like when he tries to shock somebody. All right. Well, it's 12-12.
And yes, indeed. And here comes the buy again for Big. But, you know, you are thinking in the back of your head, you're trying to not talk about what happened in the past, but you're very aware of the reasoning why you're here if you're Big.
Yeah, it just sticks in your brain.
Well, they've gone for a double op setup. Crimbo and Mantu rocking those. Electronic with some speed behind his mid take. Sin's under pressure. He was very good at mid on the T side. How is he going to fare on the CT side here? Electronic. He's going to win that fight. Now the push down.
Oh,
Axel
damn.
just overwhelmed the AWPer. Mantu couldn't compete, and the rifle of Axel cuts through the B defense. It is 13 for Cloud9.
Oh my God, that's a shot and a half from Exile. 16 and 14 for him. Perfecto's leading the way with 23 kills, but those are some banger shots in dark. And Cloud9 don't even feel the need to like pick up the pace at all. 5-on-2, you know, if anything, like just go on a little bit of a hunt, an investigative mission. A is already compromised and taken over. I believe that's Hobbit, who's kind of shifting all the way through, taking his time before he calls his teammates over to him. There is one player to find, and it's Crimbo, and he's gotten off, and he could actually catch. Oh no, he's a little bit late to stop the ball. But Hobbit's coming back. Freebie for him, and Cloud9 gonna take the lead.
All right, this just mentally shatters now for Big. You're just like, oh, why tabs away? You pushed that one round. We were in such a good position.
That'll definitely be a conversation.
Yeah.
Even if they end up winning this map, at some point that'll be a conversation.
This round, God B whops out the whiteboard. He's got the clip, and he's like, this round, don't do this. Don't do this again.
Never again.
Oh, they're hunting tabs in as well, so insult to injury. 5 rounds in a row off the back of that, and Cloud9 on fire. Maybe on their way to Copenhagen for the fall finals out of the Showdown.
That'd be cool. I mean, another big arena event for a Cloud9 team that we'd like to see live up to their potential. So I mean, if they can get things in shape in time, and obviously CS2 is going to have a huge impact there, and that'll be fun. I'm into it.
True. This could be a fun day. Obviously, last day of CSGO play. The next matchup later today, we're hopping across the pond to the Americas. We've got America's matchup. Liquid taking on Complexity. So if you're interested in that, stick around.
I have Liquid winning that. I think I was the only one who predicted it.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of have to.
You have little faith. Actually, I don't have to.
They did provide like all your clothes.
American lineup. They did provide most of my wardrobe. Yes, that's true.
That's true. We'll see. We'll see if Daps is going to return and immediately find victory. And this round, Sin is having a tough old time. He's lost some health already. It's not the prettiest round here for Big in terms of what they've been able to bring to it. He got MP9s as really your best weapons. And Cloud9 are in full control. Electronic especially. He's got a good read of what to do in middle. Last round had this instant pounce. This time passive, letting Sin come to him. Electronic wins that fight in back-to-back rounds with a different variation. And now we've got a fight in Dark Room again. Axel got a double kill last round. This time will be Hobbit.
Forced into the open by the Molotov. One more. The Deagle over the top of the flames. That one's Exile. Good trade kills. Fair play. Nice teamwork.
They get by with a little help from their friends. 25 seconds into the B-bomb site they go, just making sure there isn't a little pesky pistol hiding behind the corners. And once that bomb goes down, Cloud9 should now confirm themselves. Well, will be confirming themselves. 14. 2 rounds away from the fall finals in Copenhagen.
Yeah, that's actually sick. They're right there. It's there for the taking.
And what a journey it's been throughout the Showdown. A lot of big names have fallen by the wayside. People's favorites, G2 and ENCE.
Yeah, hard losses for them. Obviously, they didn't show up in great shape. They looked really, really kind of disheveled in this event. And I think it's true. It's great for this Cloud9 team, like, because you have to imagine, since this lineup was created and all the excitement and on paper it being such a strong team, all it's been is disappointment. Since the roster was announced, all the results have been disappointment from, their very first event in Cologne, where Exile couldn't even make it to the group stage, only got to play the loss in the quarterfinals on the stage. you know, nothing has gone well for them. So having another chance to kind of turn that around, especially at a point where you've just brought Hobbit in, you've switched him to in-game leading, and like get something positive on this new path you're taking, you know? And having, I mean, even just qualifying to the fall finals is a pretty big deal for Cloud9 to just be like, yes, we accomplished something.
Exactly.
Nice.
A positive feeling. That would be nice to have in the camp of Cloud9. And it's good to see them playing this, getting wins, but also not playing like amazing Counterstrike, I have to say. You know, it didn't look clean, a lot of their map wins. It hasn't looked dominant for large periods of their run here. And that, to me, is actually a positive because it shows that they are able to win and get the job done and win series against big teams. But also, you see that there's even room for visible improvement.
Just eye test that like the fragging has picked up with Electronic and being freed is like cool.
And Exil's better right now too.
Yeah, Exile, like Electronics creating opportunities for Exiles, creating opportunities for Shiro, who's creating opportunities for Electronic. It's all working together. It's all coming together, at least in this tournament. We'll see if it can keep up. This is now 6 rounds straight for Cloud9.
Indeed it is. And really, this feels like the last legs for Big to stand on. They've invested into this. They got the AWP, and that AWP, well, it won't be the first fight. It will be Crimbo, Electronic, and Sin going tit for tat across the map. And it is Big who currently stand in the better position.
Oh, can you exploit middle, though? Perfecto moving up. He would love to get this position for his team. He can help backstab either one of the bomb sites. And for the moment, the only person who's got eyes on mid is the A defender. That's Sin. He's using a smoke in the main choke point to be able to turn his attention elsewhere. 2 members of Cloud9 will be here.
This is a Sin fight for the win. Holding at camera. First kill is his. Gets traded out by Hobbit. Now in the final 20 seconds, Shiro makes his way out into the A bomb site. He'll plant that for Hobbit, and it's into a 2v3 post plan. Big will have to play retake here. They've got a lot of utility on Tabson, but there's no kits available on these 3 players, and they're a long way off still.
Oh, dear.
This is rough.
One is going to wait for this smoke at camera before he comes through, but Shiro's got that angle towards heaven that can be absolutely brutal if they try and come before the smoke disappears.
They don't have a lot of time. At this point, they have to be so precise when they eventually go for this. Shiro needed to land that shot. He does it. Goes back to it. Has the deagle. And Mantu running at him with the no-scope. Fire on the bomb. He has no kit. No time to fire on the bomb. Mantu runs in. And the fire prevents him from defusing. Oh, that is rough.
I actually don't even, without a kit,
even with it, yeah.
I don't even know if there was time, even if there was no fire there at that point. What a win. That's, what, a 3v4 when those trades begin over towards camera. 1 for 1. This is how it began in A main. It left Sin on an island for the rest of this round. Does a pretty admirable job, all things considered. Yeah, I don't think there's time.
No. That's so rough for Big.
Gabi's watching it slip away. Tabson's feeling it slip away. Crimbo cracking his neck.
Well, I gotta buy still. This is it. Cloud9 1 round away from qualification. The Blast Premier Fall Finals in Copenhagen.
It all started with that push.
It all started with a Tabson push.
7 rounds ago. I was there.
We were all there that day. It'll go down in German folklore.
Oh, it's so painful.
Many fans were booking their tickets to Copenhagen.
Not anymore. Hope they were funnable. Ooh, Mantu's off though. Good to get us started, and it does indeed. 3 chances for Cloud9 to close this map and book their ticket to the fall finals. They'll have to do this one playing with a man down.
The hardest round to find is when you've been on a 7-round streak, you hit 15. For some reason, it just all starts to unravel from that point. So, 15th, the 16th round can be the hardest to get. Not a science, more of an opinion.
Yeah. Anecdotal evidence.
Yeah. And here's Mantu.
Although Liquid's some pretty good evidence of that. So
yeah, they definitely do. Ooh. Okay, Mantu's got the kill at dark. That Shiro gone, and now down to 3 players here for Cloud9. If you lose this...
Oh, my lord.
Oh, this would be a disastrous way to go out. Axel's coming through dark, and they have clawed it back. Cloud9, 2 kills away from doing it. It looked so good for Big. But this round would really summarize the end of this game.
Oh, but they had to go get the bomb in dark, which means their positions aren't nearly as strong as they would have liked. Nobody can really cross back out towards A main. Sin's already there, so they're going to double up over in dark. There's 1 smoke, 1 kit.
Yeah, the kit this time is the key. Extra seconds to play with. Crucial seconds for Big as they start to clear around the bomb site. It's the double dark setup, and that smoke is going to make things a lot more difficult. Axel goes out. Oh, he does it again. Axel closes, and Cloud9 are heading to Copenhagen. They booked their tickets for the Blast Premier Fall Finals. And this is a result many will be happy about in the community of Counter-Strike.
Yeah, I mean, I need more chances to watch this Cloud9 team. I feel really bad for Big because they played some great Counter-Strike all week. They were probably the best looking teams in terms of tactics, but this new look Cloud9 swapping Electronic out of the in-game leader role, they've packed a serious punch, which is what we've all been hoping for. And I'm hoping for some action on the desk with Maniac and the Danes.
Congratulations, Cloud9 finding their way to the Fall Finals 2023 in Copenhagen. A team that was definitely in need of good news, in need of a good momentum, and took a risk with this ambitious switch of IGL prior to the event, and then it pays off a clean grand final from them.
Yeah, that was a good performance coming out of Cloud9, a good tournament, you know. We spoke about it coming into it. It's been a rough start to this super lineup. We all expected when they were first assembled that they would go in there and contest for the trophy straight away. That wasn't quite the case, but as we spoke about throughout this tournament, they've been trending upwards, and now finally they get the fruit of their labors, so to speak. They book a spot in the Royal Arena, and that's not too shabby.
Yeah, they are just happy for the win, you could see, but not over-ecstatic, hyping and running around with arms in the air, right?
No, definitely. After all, it is only a qualification for the Fall Finals, but when you think about the season and the place that this event holds with CS2 coming around the corner, how important is it for a team to have that kind of goal right there in the midterm?
It is huge to be a part of the Blast Fall Finals. It's a great arena to play in as well, Royal Arena, if they manage to get to the playoffs as well, and this will definitely be a force to reckon with.
That's the thing, right? The calendar for Cloud9 would have been very, very bleak. So in order for them to test out this whole thing with Hobbit being an in-game leader, freeing up Electronic, now we get our answers. When we get to see them at the Fall Finals, we get some answers to the questions that we still have in regards to this lineup. Whereas had they not qualified, it would have been a very, very long season.
And obviously, Hobbit taking the reign is a huge topic of conversation. A whole lot of people are interested in this Cloud9 and how they behave. This is once again a very strong T side. They close, leaving no chance to Big. What did you make of Cloud9 on the T side, the rhythm they were playing? How did you think about it?
I think it's a team where they rely on a lot of the individuals as well. Also to take the decision in game. I think they're helping each other calling. So even though it's Hobbit having the final say now, I still think the game plan hasn't changed a lot.
Okay.
So I don't think it will make a huge difference. But they were just taking the right decision, and you could see they were playing with more confidence today as well, and everyone just stepped up in a solid tournament as well.
Did you notice anything different? Did you notice any individual stepping up, or is this just more of the same and the difference was made somewhere else?
Yeah, I think the difference was made somewhere else. You know, it gives a bit of a fresh air to all the players. I think people have to remember when you change an in-game leader, you don't change, you know, from one day to another. You have a play style, you have certain strats, you're going to run the same defaults, etc., etc. So maybe in 40 days from now on, where we get to see them in the Fall Finals, something will have changed, obviously. But for now, it was more of the same, but maybe a bit more freed up. We saw Electronic play well, we saw Habit have a good moments, and we saw Exile come to life all of a sudden. By far the MVP of this final matchup, so that was good to see.
And this is the beauty of a team like Cloud9. You've just listed 3 names. And thus Perfecto, the 4th name of that list, is the one that stepped up massively on Anubis. And this has to be one of the main arguments. The selling argument of a team like Cloud9 is the idea that they have so many different individuals who can step up. On this map, this was Perfecto, a huge impact.
Huge impact for Perfecto, and it's needless to say that he puts up these numbers a lot. He is really consistent and just a really good player, which has improved a lot.
Would you say Perfecto is underrated?
I would say that he has been underrated for a while, but now people are starting to see what he can achieve on the server, right? But also it's a team of so much individual talent, so they need to have a game plan, a style of play where they can make these plays and take the decision themselves. And I think Electronic had a fairly simple play style, and I think we will continue to see that with Hobbit as well.
Well, you're talking of individual brilliance, and on that topic, it is time for us to find out and talk to our mask MVP for the European side of the Showdown, of course. We have Shiro on the mic with us. Shiro, hello, congratulations on the qualification. How do you feel?
Hello guys, thanks for support for me. It's all good. We win qualifier. I'm so funny.
It is so funny. We wonder, how is the team feeling now with Hobbit as the IGL? How is the atmosphere in the team?
I like it, Hobbit IGL. For me, it's I don't know. Сань, как сказать? Короче, надо сказать, что... Sorry, guys, it's so
okay.
hard,
No
yeah, for
worries.
me.
Do the translation.
Короче, хочу сказать, что просто с Хоббит хороший ГЛ, у него все получается. В принципе, мы чуть-чуть поменяли подход, и у нас пока что получается.
Sorry for connecting. It's a little break for translation. So he is very satisfied with the Hobbit swap to EGL because the entire kind of construction has changed, and he really liked the way it is now.
Sure, I got a question for you. Now that you booked a spot at the fall finals, are you looking forward to perhaps get inside the Royal Arena and play in such a big stage in Counter-Strike 2?
Yeah. А? Надо, да, я хотел там сыграть, очень круто, что мы играем в CS2 именно там. Но скажи, я не знаю, просто это реально сложно. Sorry, guys.
All good, all good.
No worries.
It's all good.
Actually, it was one of his kind of milestones and check marks because this is the only arena he, for all this time, avoided. So it's very, it's very anticipated for him just to be there, not even in CS2, and this is double the effect.
Awesome.
Thank you. Shiro, last question. Are you ready for CS2?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. Well, I will let you go. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Enjoy the victory with your team and appreciate the work of the translator as well. That was very kind. Have a good evening. There we go. I appreciate it. You know what? If you're going to have a translator with you, that's fine. It's great that we get to talk to these people. It's great that we get to hear a little bit. It's just I have to probably polish on my Russian a little bit. It's not the greatest. We'll work on that. MVP, Shiro, huge performance. Marcus, this is a Shiro who's sometimes the numbers might have been a bit above the impact, but still a key player for this Cloud9.
Yeah, Shiro for me has been better than Simple this year. I'm a bit afraid to say it out loud, but
no, you're safe. You're good.
He is just such a good player. He always puts up these numbers, even in the downward trajectory trend they had for a while now. Cloud9 hasn't been having the best of results, and he's still putting in the numbers, and he has to be patient, continue to do that, and the rest of the team will step up eventually.
Some people may not agree with Shiro's playstyle. Some may argue that he's a bit too defensive, he's baiting a bit too much, etc., etc. But I agree with what you're saying right here, Marcus. Fact of the matter is that he's a known quantity. You always know what you get with Shiro. He's always going to step up. He's always going to deliver the 20 to 30 frag department every single game. And even when Cloud9 were having the rough periods, Shiro was the one bailing them out. So yes, I agree with you. He's by far been better than Simple for this year so far. And he's still young. It's still a player that is developing, still a player that is getting better and better and better.
And this is where I just wanted to pick your brain. He's definitely not a finished product.
No.
He's definitely youngsters out there. He's earning his stripe and the experience. Where do you think is the next step? What is the next evolution for a player like Shiro, who's already extremely strong in his playstyle? What do you think could be the one additional piece that you could add to the portfolio, so to speak?
I mean, it's always very, very tough to go in and create a new play out of a almost finished product. But I would like to see Shiro be a little bit more assertive on the server. I would like to see him dictate the games a bit more with the AWP. We saw it a bit with Guardian back in the days. I don't know if you remember him, but he was also very passive.
I do.
Over the years, he became more and more aggressive. And when he was in FaZe Clan, he was more sort of a hybrid that could do both. If Shiro can add an aggressive element to his play where he's more dictating the game to just reacting to it, he can be the best AWP in the world, no doubt.
Well, the hopes are very high for Shiro and the Cloud9 team, who have now punched their tickets for the Blast Fall Finals. We see here one last time when it comes to the European bracket. You have our winner, Cloud9, defeating back-to-back-to-back big G2 and starting with Movistar. A very honorable bracket, a very honorable run for the guys over at Cloud9, and this is it. A team that now has 7 teams. We're only looking for one final name. And Marcus,
look at
that
those
team over there,
teams.
this is pretty sexy list, right?
Yeah, it's only good teams.
If I'm Complexity or Liquid right now, I may want to lose that game. I don't want to get into a tournament with these guys, right? There's no chance for them to do anything anyway.
Don't listen to this guy. This is why I don't win in Face It. See, how am I supposed to win with this guy over here who says you should not qualify to an event if it's going to be hard? Man, oh man. I do not approve of this message. But what I do approve of is a little bit of a break, because the Counterstrike is not over quite yet. This is where we have to look forward to. Right now it's going to be Complexity versus Liquid for the Americas side of the showdown. There's still one more spot to be found for Copenhagen. The fall final needs its 8th team, and it's coming right at you after the break. I can barely believe it. For one last time, I'm going to cover a CSGO official match. We're waving goodbye to that version here, but we're welcoming one last team in the fall final. Liquid versus Complexity, these are the two names that are going at each other for this final spot in the Americas. And Marcus, Complexity are here, but it's fair to say that this was a very hard-fought battle to pass through Furia.
Hard-fought battle, and what has impressed me the most about Complexity has been their ability to come back from being down after the first half. They have come back from 12-3, won the map 16-14, come back from 11, being down 11-4 and winning that map as well. They have some great rounds, but they need to play the advantages better. They're still making silly mistakes, and they're relying on Floppy, Grim, and Elise to come and save some key rounds by important clutches.
Well, you mentioned Elise. Obviously, this is a matchup that has a special flavor to him, not only because he meets his old teammate Naf, but overall going up against Liquid, the team, the jersey that he's represented for so many years. That must be special for a player.
There's so much history in this matchup. OC from his prior teammates, he left to join and play with Elise. Elise now left and went back to the old team that he left. So there's so many stories going on here.
And if you're Elise, how much weight do you think he has in the preparation? Do you think as a player he is supposed to take charge of this matchup and tell them what they should be ready?
He should be careful of doing this because obviously Liquid has evolved since he's left. They've gone worse, you can say, but all the strats that he probably remembers from that time, those are outdated. He can't really come in and say, oh, this is how they do it and blah, blah, blah. They need to play their own game.
Oh,
exactly.
That's interesting. You agree with him on that as well?
I agree with that. I have tried it so many times, changing teams, playing against my old teammates for 5 years. Just full-on anti-stratting them and not focusing on our own game and strengths. Like, they have to play their own game, do a few tweaks in the defaults, but they need to be able to like keep their own identity and trust that they're the better team.
Right. You told me about their comebacks and their ability to stay in the game. What would you put it down to? How do you think this team has been able to be so strong mentally in moments where they could have lost many different maps here in Copenhagen?
So normally I would like let it come down to mental strength, but I think especially Floppy has saved them in some really crucial situation. We saw on Inferno yesterday, 2v4 on Inferno, and he just does the best headshots of the tournament.
Well, you mentioned the name Floppy, and I think it's only apt that we exchanged a couple of words with him, and that's James Banks.
So Floppy, yesterday Furia couldn't stop the flop when it came to Inferno, but that game was more than close. What were some of your struggles you had yesterday that just can't happen today against Liquid?
I think yesterday we kind of started off slow on overpass. It was just kind of, I don't know, like we're just, you know, starting off slow. It's first map of the day, so I think we need to start off strong today, whatever map pool it is today.
And this game obviously has a lot on the line, right? The full final spot, but also your chance to finally take down Liquid, who you don't win against. And this is the first time you're facing them with a Liege. So how much, in your opinion, is this version of Complexity improved with a Liege?
I think this is the best version of Complexity that we've seen. Honestly, like we've been really strong. We could have had a better performance at Pro League as well. So I think, yeah, we're playing at our best at the moment, and it's only up from here.
Nice. Okay, so very positive for sure. And obviously, Elise, he played with the core of this Liquid. Is there anything he's been able to tell you or add in this game in particular, or is it already irrelevant?
I think not necessarily against just Liquid, but against every team he has his own thoughts and opinions on. So I don't think it's anything too special against Liquid.
Okay, but would you call this matchup like a rivalry matchup because of the NA versus NA?
Yeah, it's always a rivalry against Liquid.
And do you think that this is the time you can get that win? Is this what we're smelling right now? Is that what's in the water?
I don't know, man. Floppy online. This is my homeland, bro. It's time to frag out.
All right, then. Online is the homeland for Floppy. Yeah, you know what? He said it himself. I'm not going to challenge him on that. But you were telling me, Bob, as well.
Yeah.
If you just look at face value, Liquid versus Complexity, there should be a favorite side for Liquid, but that's not exactly the reality currently.
I mean, when we see Liquid's lineup, there's been brought a lot of players into the team. We've got Patty, we've got Yekindar. Those were star players in other European teams. But then we have a Complexity who's kind of a little bit of some leftovers that Liquid didn't want. but now they're actually doing better than them. And I feel like when they go into practice complexity, I feel like they enjoy themselves. They feel like a team. When I look at this Team Liquid lineup, I don't feel like they enjoy playing with each other. I think they need some results in order to get momentum.
Would that mean that the individuals are under more pressure for Liquid?
Yes, I think the individuals are more under pressure, because it seems like they're buying a bit more all over the place. You know, they bring in imports for Europe, and of course it puts a bigger responsibility on their backs. Whereas I feel that in Complexity, they are more in for the long term. It seems like they have a lot of money and stuff, but they don't just want to go out and spend it on the best players. They want the right team chemistry, and I think that's the right way to go long term.
And now you talk about long term, and obviously for Liquid, there's a whole lot of questions out there. We've addressed it a couple of times. Noise on the street, roster change, and all of that. Talk to me as a player, how do you handle these moments when you're uncertain about what's going to happen, you don't really know what the future holds? How do you handle it in a big game?
I think you have to realize that CSGO now is a job. Back when me and Marcus sometimes played, it felt like a family. But when you join a team like Liquid, you don't expect to find your fourth next best friends. You expect to get some results, and if you're not getting them, you know your job is in danger, and that is just what a professional is.
Speaking of job in danger, do we think that OC still has a chance to buy himself more time on that roster? Are you ready to ring the bell for change? Or he's been having a very good tournament. We have to be clear. It's been fantastic so far. The numbers are up there. But do you think he's still fighting for survival?
I think normally OC wouldn't be in a dangerous situation right here. I think it's just unfortunate for him that Liquid has been struggling to find the right in-game leader. And Kaden is now free on the market. He's a great in-game leader and also an AWPer who can put up almost or the same amount of kills as OC. And OC's strength is the mechanical skills. He needs to put up big numbers. He doesn't seem like the guy who's bringing them together, taking a lot of initiative and leading the team. And Kaden is a leader, for example.
Right. Now, obviously, from a team perspective, it feels like Complexity has the upper hand. Do you feel that reflects in the map pool as well? They get away with Anubis, they get away with Overpass. This should be a strength position for them.
I mean, when you are a top team struggling, you obviously have a worse map pool, and I think Complexity has actually built a map pool together as a team. I think Elise has been contributing a lot to that. He probably have a lot of experience with how they did it in Liquid and has implemented into a team that is hungry.
Okay, do you think Liquid has what it takes to surprise Complexity on Anubis? Because Anubis has been a map that's a go-to for Complexity. They've been very assured in their pick. Is there a way here for Liquid to punish that?
I think it's going to be really difficult to beat Complexity on Anubis. We need to remember they have an 88% of win rate out of 8 maps, and they're playing it really basic. It's hard to counter a team and anti-strat a team who's just so good at playing basic Counter-Strike on a map. There's nothing big that stands out you can punish them for.
Basic Counter-Strike is all the way, baby. But I do have to remind you of one more thing at home, guys. There's the Mask MVP polls. These are open for the Americas side of the competition. Here you get to head over to blast.tv and you can cast your vote to help us find who's the most valuable player by Musk here at the Showdown. We are a few minutes away from the beginning of map 1. It's going to be Anubis, the fourth hold of Complexity, a map that they have appreciated quite a lot in the short term. Our casters are ready, we are ready. A few minutes break and we go right back to it.
See, you've been having a really good tournament so far, and I want to see how you're finding things for yourself on an individual level with the changes in the team. Maybe there's some more space or room you've been given during all of this.
I would say with the addition of Daps, it hasn't really changed too much. I think with Daps, we have more of a voice and, you know, more ideas. So maybe that helps with my individual level and, you know, having someone bring up more ideas and stuff like that. But overall, I feel like it's basically the same as with Rainwaker so far.
Well, it's working very well for you, at least what we've seen so far in these games. So maybe you're feeling a bit more pressure to step up individually in these games?
Yeah, I'd say, you know, since adding a new member into the team, of course, he's been, Daps has been with the team for a long time, so he knows how our system works and stuff, but actually playing the game and, you know, being in the moments, it's a lot tougher. And so I think game by game, we're, you know, implementing him better into the team. But yeah, I think so far right now, we're looking more at an individual level to make sure that we can close some of these rounds out. But yeah, I think the individual level definitely helps a lot when, you know, we don't have all the reps to not make as many mistakes.
Yeah, and we've been seeing that across these games so far. And today, you got up against Complexity, who you guys just don't lose against, right? For so long, you have been the #1 NA team. But does it feel like to you that this Complexity is the best version of Complexity we've seen?
I would say so. I think ever since they added Leech, they've been looking a lot better. I think as well, you know, when you have someone with so much experience on the team that comes in, you know, there's just so much that you can learn from even just one person. So I think that definitely helped. But, you know, all the players on Complexity were people who had a lot of potential. And when you just have someone that can kind of lead you in the right way, then it helps a lot, I feel like. And so, yeah, Complexity has been looking very good. I think, you know, Halzrick has been doing his thing. Leech has been playing very well, and Floppy as well. Everyone on the team, honestly, has been performing pretty well. So I think it's going to be a really good match. And, you know, I think it's one of those matches that we were looking forward to play in this tournament. So.
Oh, you're looking forward to playing it. So you want to prove a point that you can win with no matter what players you got?
I wouldn't say that. I think there's just like a lot of, you know, I guess rivalry or like, you know, I'm like obviously very close with a lot of the Complexity players and allegiance with the past and stuff like that. So I think there's just like a lot of, it's like a friendly rivalry, I would say. But, you know, there's a lot of talks about like who the best NA team is right now, and Complexity has been playing very well. So we want to kind of prove a point.
We are back for a little bit of an extended delay here. There are some technical issues at the Complexity Center. A PC has to be changed, but I'm hearing that PC has been changed. So hopefully we are not going to be with you for too long. Now, we had OC, and he had a couple of words with James Banks, and I believe along the storylines of this grand final, he has to be a name that we mentioned, not only because of his history with the core of the Extra Salt in Complexity, but also for his trajectory. And you had an opinion about whether or not Complexity made the right choice at a point.
Yeah, I mean, you can talk about would OC be better off playing at Complexity now than he would being in Liquid at this point. He left Extra Salt, that became Complexity. People sometimes forget this. He played with Elise, and then he actually left back to the team. I think he's an interesting prospect, but he hasn't really had the level that we've expected from him.
What would be your assessment of OC's time in Liquid? He's obviously been under a lot of scrutiny. People have been calling for replacements at time. He's had a few games here and there. What would be your take about his stay in Complexity, or in Liquid rather?
I would say confusing. It's weird to me that he has already almost been playing in Liquid for 2 years now, and that just says to me that he hasn't had any really standout tournaments offline. This was a guy who has been dominating online NACS for many years, comes into Liquid in December 2021, but we're still lacking to see that extra level that he needs to develop himself into at some point. And you could argue after 2 years that time might be up if Liquid want to improve, because they have Yakinda, they have Nafly, they are still testing out Patty and finding the in-game leader. But while there is this this project where you are building the team, it's easier to replace 2 at a time than maybe only 1.
Yeah, this could be a very dangerous time for him as well. I've always had the feeling, and I wonder if you concur on that, that whenever Liquid was in a moment of uncertainty, would it be leader change or roster change, these would be moments where OC would actually pop off.
Yep.
And then when they establish a game style, he fades off a little bit. And I can't really put a finger on what's happening here, what is happening behind that.
No, but I've also thought that Liquid has also had a kind of luxury. They've been the total domination of NA for such a long period. When we spoke about complexity, their rival was EG. But now the tables have turned. We obviously see complexity as the favorites in North America. It's a completely different dynamic, and Heltic and the guys ready to take that role.
Yeah, I like OC and the interview we get with him here from Banks. He's a nice guy. He doesn't want to humiliate his opponent by saying that, oh, we're going to beat them. So, you know, he's really polite, and maybe he needs a lot of space as well. I think OC needs a lot of freedom to perform, and maybe he doesn't always have the loudest voice on the TeamSpeak to say, okay, I want to do this. So when there's more freedom, it's easier for him to get the impact, but I would like him to be a bit more confident, as many of the good Orbers are, and like go out in interviews and say, I'm gonna dominate this guy, you know, kind of that thing that I'm gonna bring the game to you. And I think that's a thing that is hard for him to develop into, because that's also a personality thing. And yeah.
And how much of it do you think is his responsibility, right? Because you can be part of a system and you can have a personality that maybe makes you a little bit more timid, a little bit more shy. But how much is it on his shoulder and his responsibility to say, well, you know what, screw this. Like, this is what I want to do. This is the space I want. How much does he have to do it and not wait for someone else or from management or coaching to come to him with that?
Counterstrike is a professional sports business these days. Your own success in your career is only down to yourself. The rest is excuses. Obviously, it's easier to perform under good circumstances, with a nice team, with good friends, who almost feels like a family on the team. But in the end, it's just up to yourself. You cannot blame a guy for being shy or anything. He just needs to realize that it's up to himself, right? To take this next step. It would be nice to have an in-game leader who can push him the way, but there's also a point of extension where you need to take it yourself, you know. You need to take yourself what you want to achieve in your career. If that makes sense?
Yeah, it absolutely makes sense. And you talk about the next step. Boopski, you also mentioned Complexity are now walking into this game as de facto favorites, sort of the big brothers of NA. Do you feel like this young roster is ready to have this sort of title on their shoulder?
If Elise wasn't on the roster, no, I don't think so. But now he is there. He has probably taught them a lot, and I also think the coaching staff has learned a lot from a guy who's played at the top for so many years, and he also got a new haircut who's been buffing up.
Yeah, that haircut's been pretty well. I might have to go down that road eventually. I'm still holding on to the 25 set of hair I have on my... I respect that, Elish. That gives me the courage to a whole lot of people out there. Memes aside, in simple terms, a man like Elish steps into Complexity. What is it that he brings first and foremost?
He brings a tone of voice. He brings a structure. People respect him. When he says something, people kind of doubt, you know, when a good football player says that's a really good pass, but then they really respect it. But if I say, oh, that was a nice pass, it's kind of like, please shut up, right? So it's really a difference maker of him having the respect prior to joining the team.
And now I want to take the other side of that coin, right? You have Elish who joins in. He's obviously a big name. He's got notoriety. Does he come with a set of expectation and pressure as well? Do you think for the Complexity guys, having Elish join might have had also a cost to that roster change?
Bringing in Elish is a statement, and of course it comes with pressure, right? But I think Complexity has been laying down there in NA, huge name, huge economy, but we have just been not seeing like these big signings from them before. So I think they have had time, years to develop the project slowly, and I think the players are ready to take on that next step and take that extra pressure with them, because it's just nice to get Elise on your team. It's a statement to themselves as well that they're good players. He want to play with them and he want to win titles with them.
I also feel like Complexity has tried everything. They tried in the start with the North American roster. They feel like that was completely shit. Then they went to EU, tried to build it up with Blame F, and those guys, that didn't really work either. Like, they had some decent results, and then they went back to their roots and they actually built it from the ground up. And there was a nice team in there called Extra Salt that they could take a player or two from, which have really built upon.
Yeah, listen, we talk about Elish and then how notorious and long-standing he's been in the Counter-Strike scene. Well, he's got his old buddy Naf over to the Liquid side, and it's a little bit of the same. These are mainstay names of the Counter-Strike scene, not only in North America, and an equivalent importance in this series as well.
I would argue he's the most important player in North American history. Like the roles he's playing and the dynamic roles that he can take on is really niche. Compared to Elise, where I think you need to put him in a start position. I think Neff could even AWP, he could do a little bit of everything. So he's a very, very versatile player to be on your roster.
So you would say he's a low maintenance, high reward type player?
I don't think he causes drama either. I think it's also important to understand some players will whine a lot and some players will complain more than others, and it's very important to find a balance to keep team atmosphere at best.
What's your appraisal of Naf as a player? Did you, I'm imagining in your time, you must have had a couple of battles with Naf. He's been around for a while. What's it been playing against Naf, and what's your take on that player?
He's just a versatile player, and as Boopski says, he can just slot you right in. And I think you could argue that you could put Naf into more big teams with immediate success than Elish.
Awesome. There we go. Well, I have very good news, actually. Producer is in my ear singing like a little bird that the game is ready. So analyst, stop, talk. The Twitch chat, we have heard you. But the only people I want to hear talking right now, Alps, Crony, and Nonders, my dudes, let's take it over to you. Let's talk about Counter-Strike.
Yes, indeed, my dude. Thank you so much, Maniac and analysts. Bubsky and Kirby, shout out to you guys. Welcome to the gang. Well done this week. The final match of the Showdown era, the final match of competitive CSGO, and it is a treat. It's the Team Liquid Complexity NA head-to-head, right when Team Liquid become a North American team again. Pressure on Daps to keep Complexity at bay. Elige is the new weapon for Cole. Oh, it's all coming together for a spot at the fall finals. Goofs and gaffs aside, folks, this match absolutely matters. The biggest LAN of CS2 in 2023 is on the line for these two NA orgs.
And we saw yesterday what Complexity had to go through to be able to beat Furia. That showed what kind of game they're willing to play. They survived a devastating first map loss, a tight second map, and an even more impressive comeback on the third map. So Liquid have their work cut out for them.
Oof. Grim's getting his duel on down towards B. JT over the shoulder helps. Patsy, nice headshots. Looking for another, but now the reload could cost him. Sure enough, Elige capitalizes. 3 versus 3 as Yakinder thinks he can get across the bridge, and he's lucky enough to catch Elige mid-reload. So nice internal timing there from Yakinder. Floppy doubles back to try and get him, but Yakinder's got the headshots. It's an all-European pistol from Liquid between Patsy and Yakinder. And so that's the way the CTs start this game.
This ends up being a tight game. You know, there will be more of a spotlight on Daps in this matchup than I think we've seen in the past couple, because this one it's not a given that Liquid should win. This is actually not a given that Complexity should win, but there is actually an expectation here that Complexity should be able to beat Liquid with a sub. In the other games, it was like, Liquid should still win. They should still easily outdo their opponent. 4 out of 5 players and a 5th player playing okay, but it's not the case anymore. So luckily Daps has had a few matches behind him, and he's actually shown some good promise as an individual, but you can only expect so much. And I think he's got to clasp his hands and hope that his form is just on point a little bit extra today.
In the pregame interview, OC said, "It feels like we're still with Rainwaker. Like it's no different." And I think that's praise to Daps as a coach being able to jump back in. Or is it a slight to Rainwaker? Make of it what you will.
No, I think it's clearly noticeable. And you're just being facetious there, but it's noticeable how much the map looks totally fine when Daps is moving around. You can tell the rotations have been solid, and it feels like everything's been covered well. Nobody looks out of place or has to trip over other people's shoelaces to get around. It's one of those jobs where if you're not complaining, then someone's doing a great job.
Yep. And no complaints at the start of this one. The way Yakinder and Naf just chew through the smoke, shut down any A play. Your P250 Grim is destined for the dirt. But he'll grab an MP9. Yakinder better be careful. I mean, there's no need for Yakinder to peek here on 15 health. You end up losing, at the very least, Daps' SMG. So yeah, let the rotators clear it all up. And that 2-0 start is yours.
I wonder what kind of level we're going to get out of Patsy and Yakinder today, because I don't think it'll be team play that makes the biggest difference for Liquid. The calling is one thing, but I think the Yakinder, Patsy, Naf trio, their core, and leaning into that strength, especially on potentially aggressive T sides, that's what they can overwhelm Complexity with. I think that's one area where Complexity will, not be able to keep up if they're all peaking at the same time. But Complexity have fought through fire and brimstone to get here.
And we've seen those individual levels you're talking about have an uptick in Showdown. It's the age-old tale of Team Liquid coming back to the regional Counterstrike and then just using European talent to kind of flex, keep the other guys at bay. But, Elige, to me, this would be his moment. This would be his game. We said in jest, the two of us, before this went live, this is who wins the breakup.
Yeah.
And Elige comes back with newfound form from Floppy. Halzerk's op impact, we all have seen it. Whether or not he's hot and cold throughout the series or whether he can string a couple of solid performances together. But he always seems to be good for a carry within a series. Right now he's been left on an island out top middle on his own. Total ace stack here from Liquid. Just leaning on OC and Spawn with a FAMAS. So this isn't the best of spots for OC. But he keeps Halzerk back for a little bit. And the long A push does catch Elige as he tried to enter Dark and get into that B site. If they had clipped JT's wings, then that's bombed down. So Halzerk's position is so interesting. He's still locking horns with OC, picks up the kill as Daps tries to creep behind him. Halzerk leaves towards Temple, and he's looking to join forces with this bomb plant on B. This is perfect. Complexity just cutting through the defense. Maybe Liquid out-rotating themselves and not getting that flank the way they'd hoped. If they caught both players in canals just 5 seconds sooner, Complexity have no bomb. But so missing that timing, Liquid win it.
Yeah, so in a standard round and an even matchup and a default, the Ts are going to try to loosen your control up and then pretend they take a piece of map control. And then the other team, if you fall back, you have to double re-clear, you have to use nades, you have to push something else to respond. And I think that was the part that was missing this round from Liquid. They gave up a little space, didn't take any back. Complexity took a little more space, they didn't take any back. And then suddenly there's a split with Halzerk alone, holding and controlling middle by himself. And this is the only response. A little bit too late.
Clean rifle work out of Halzerk. Best OC doubles back, makes sure nothing gets weird in the retake attempt. Liquid did try to chase them around that site, but it's an instant timeout from Liquid to talk about it.
Good timings from Complexity on that push. And you could say the double A push from the CT side, that's enough to counter the map control that Halzerk took. But as you could see, they were really chasing ghosts. I mean, they got the tail end of one frag, but that was players running into an empty bomb site. So it wasn't as if they were getting clamped on.
The head-to-head between Liquid and Complexity, pretty damn one-sided in the last couple years. Team Liquid always picking them up, but again, Complexity have never had a Liege, right? In the North American head-to-head, it was always like he who had a Liege is the best. But
well, this is when we find out if he who had a Liege is the best.
Mm-hmm.
The first time we can. We can isolate the variable. And Elige has been standout at the Showdown, definitely.
I mean, there have been moments since Elige's departure for Complexity where he is just straight up the win condition. And we saw that yesterday, I think, versus Furia with that scout triple headshot. Just glorious moments from him, round-winning impact, but JT is the guy apparently this time. Round 4 with his name stamped on it. That's Patsy and Daps smashed in Dark and an instant save from Liquid. Complexity wastes no time to tie the game at 2.
You phase the smoke, you get 1 kill, but he phased the smoke and he got 2 frags before they could even see him. Well, I guess he has 2 eyes.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Okay, JT. I see you.
Yesterday, JT did not have the best day, but yesterday's in the past.
Clean snapshot onto Daps.
Oh, that is... what is that?
It's content.
Wow.
It's Alicia's son.
That's adorable. What is... who is on that? What is the character on that?
Oof. And the two guys pieced up in dark last round, stuck on pistols as it's the rest of Liquid to maybe get something going with rifles. And they don't change the setup much. They take one player, add him to the B site, so a rifle to work between Patsy and Daps, boosted up his OC. And Yukinder's looking to get something going long, but he just walks up on his own. Floppy finds timing, clearing that. And now Naf's going to have pressure on him if there's a follow-through.
Yeah, Nades will get him back. Yeah, Patsy going for a walk. But JT has him on a leash. That's an easy kill. There are 2 rifles still here for the CT side. That's right, still 2. Naf low now, but that's enough of a clue to say, all right, we're fine taking our risk over on the B side, and there is no one here.
Had James Banks reconfirm that it is indeed still Yukinder calling for this one, seeing as Daps wouldn't be able to get a system in place. They didn't want to change that. I just, you know, from the day 1 to day 2 improvement from the calling, I almost doubted Yukinder, but I had James double check. It is still the case. And it's nice to see that Yukinder just called something quicker, faster, and to the strengths of Team Liquid in their second matchup.
Yeah, it kind of showed they had stuff to use. They just weren't really using it before. Some days are foggy too. I mean, being an IGL is very difficult. You have to just consistently be on it, and you got to come up with ideas over and over again. It's not for everyone.
And you know what? Listen, I'll always respect somebody who thinks they can. All right? As long as you can accept defeat when it doesn't work out. Somebody like Electronic, right? You said it yourself. You believed him when he said he wanted to be the best in-game leader ever. That he was going to take a swing at it. But speaking of swings, down in dark, Naf trades back as Patsy went right into that fight. Met by 2. Pressure comes out from long. Daps can't keep any pressure on the entrance of the B site, and Leaf's nade will just finish him off. Very little health left over from the sprays through smoke. But I mean, Daps applying no spray through that smoke just allowed for Complexity to sprint straight through. And even though Naf was in the middle of trying to recover from the opening kill, this is like Complexity winning rounds in the first 20 seconds, back to back to back.
Yeah, that's pretty confident, the way that they had just approached that B split. It was fast. It was decisive. It exploited a weakness. I mean, Patsy thought he was going to peek out, get a free kill, go tuck in again. No, he saw one guy. That guy killed him, and there was 2 running up the right side while Nafly peeked. He was lucky to even get his molly off. And by that point, that's both players spotted and a free B site again. That is the worst sign yet for Liquid. What a round out of Cole.
Strong start on Anubis. They started their 2023 season with an Anubis pick that ended up falling completely flat. And I think Complexity have been one of the teams that slowly worked through this, improving over time. They shepherded in quickly. And already the cracks of frustration shown on Team Liquid. Yukinder didn't like that one. And it's got to feel rough, man. You're losing these rounds incredibly fast. Complexity showing comfort in that aggression. Floppy being a nuisance outside A. Getting Naf to burn a lot of his utility already. He's down to a single flashbang, so that'll draw Yukinder over, but no supportive utility. OC's position found out on the door, but with the window smoked, he's got a chance to go.
He's got to be careful. He's actually low.
I thought he would have left sooner, but he does end up getting towards camera. Yakinder, his rotator, just moves out and gets bested.
Wow.
Flashbang to the face. OC sees nothing, and Complexity are ready to knock on this A site. Floppy checks flank as JT holds for the next rotator. And everything's going well until Naf posts that double Thomas headshot in the mid. But still, A-Site so low, Daps on his own. In CT, almost lines up too, but Grim's right there to trade it. And now they've got OC strapped and stranded with little HP in a 1v2 he shouldn't win. Does he try this? Yeah, he's going to give it a go. He's got the kit. He's got the smoke. And they go double dark. No, doesn't like it. And so he's going to let this one slide away. Complexity, it's a 5-2 lead.
I mean, it's as simple as, and you got, I'm sure you're going to agree with me here, the layered flashbangs, right?
Yep.
Two to get OC back off the first pick into killing Yakinder. Another two to get him back into camera with the smoke coming out. And that allowed them to kill Patsy on the rotate into mid. It was just walking in dry, by the way, just seeing what he can do. It's already looking way more desperate from Liquid's perspective than it is for Complexity. Full control of every situation. OC doesn't even have a real chance to shoot. 2 blind shots that round and 2 teammates dead when he doesn't get those kills. Another complete outplay by Complexity. Besides this. I miss him. This might be a short day, Connor.
No, surely not. I mean, after all the matches we've had in the NA Showdown, you know, Liquid give up a map to Forsaken, Liquid give up a map to Party Astronauts. You know, I thought maybe we'd go 3, keep it tight, Furia and Complexity, 30 rounds each time. There was no blowouts on my horizon when I got out of bed this morning.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I'm not ready for this outcome. I'm not ready for a blowout.
Binoculars again.
What else am I going to do on my Sunday afternoon? Look at this killer pack, murderous prowl out from long A. Just AKs up, no util, keep it simple. They know they've got Liquid by the balls. Straight up swinging that bomb site, catching rotators, but there's a fight back from OC. You know, you start skipping steps and things get sketch. But Grim will get himself a double headshot. Patsy's flank's not fast enough. Still, considering you ran into a site here that was majority pistols, this amount of damage, hey, Grim's only on 40 health.
He's low,
There's time to defuse this. Oh, Molly to make it weird. Grim's sliding out. Ooh,
oh my God.
Both die.
Oh. Grim took a big risk there too by swinging that direction. He didn't want to play it cowardly, and Patsy nearly tucked in time.
Scary though, man. You rotate in. I think what, pistols get 2 kills here? Then OC plucks one off the op.
I'm really happy to see Complexity moving fast. It's the same for me. It's the same way that I wanted Liquid to play faster with Yakinder and Patsy available versus these teams they should beat, because they should beat them. And I think Complexity should solidify themselves as a team that feels like the favorite in this match, that has less time to spend figuring out and playing a feeler round out, you know? They should be able to prove that they can win fast right away, honestly. And they have. They've got better nades right now, very strong defaults. Tricking Liquid left, right, and center. I'm with you. I didn't think it would happen today, but I'm glad that it is.
So far.
so far.
I've seen the complexity highs. They usually come with a couple lows. All right. These guys have a certain, doomsday aura. It can't be perfect for complexity. Like that. Daps finds the lineup. Grim never gets a chance to shoot back. They're still going to try to press through. But Elige losing vision as he slips back into the smoke grenade. And this one gets completely stuffed. So solid hold from Daps and Patsy. And a 2K out of Yakinder to get into the dark room and take everything away from them. This time, it is indeed complexity swept under the rug.
Yeah, much better round. On the side hold, and they let Liquid all get close, but they are coming through a smoke. So very nice from Daps to just trust himself right there, take out Grim inside the smoke and the choke point. And the day push coming into play again.
Good util damage behind the front peak. Elige brings one with him. OC fast, but not fast enough. If complexity do end up winning.
Who wins this? Grim or
This
Naf?
duel?
Yeah.
Naf.
Okay, I'll take Grim. I'll take Grim.
Weird timing though. Now that Grim's crossed over. Now Grim.
Now Grim. Okay.
Yeah. If you got him in the back of the lane, then different story. I feel like those players always get caught off. Every time you come around that B corner, you're never expecting somebody out on that plat. But he crossed by, gets the better of Nafly. And Daps feels the need to get adventurous. Him versus Floppy. Ooh, tried to reset the recoil. Floppy commits to the spray down. And even with 15 health, he hangs on. So it's a 4v2, but barely. And if Yakinder finds timing, ooh, they just double dropped.
Yeah, but
Floppy's gonna find him. Dies.
Go for it.
And Yakinder tries to keep the pressure up. Ulzer's holding it with the AWP. Shot right to the gut. And nothing for OC to do at this point, but save that op yet again. 7 on this T side.
Damn. That little bit, it's like that, Daps getting 90 damage, but not the extra bullet in. For Floppy, that's that can change the round, of course. Not the only thing that went wrong, but complexity put together another healthy split. I think they just are not afraid of Liquid in terms of taking canals very quickly. Usually teams have to work harder for Dark, but Complexity are almost confident straight rushing it out of spawn. Or E-Box. You calling it E-Box?
Yeah, I mean, everybody I play with lately in NA, it's all E-Box.
Yeah.
No one's calling it dark. Because you know what? For CS2, they added the brightest fluorescent light I have ever seen in that room. So we can't call it dark because it's like, it's so bright white now.
Yeah.
Has it become E-Box, Launders? Has it?
I like the call E-Box. It's just like a call for into different parts of different maps. Just because both parts of the word are like very strong.
E-Box.
E-Box.
That's actually my internet provider here in Montreal.
Enjoy the DDoS, kid.
Yeah, enjoy the solo cast, bro.
Shoot.
Yeah. Oh, they were getting a little antsy, taking a peek out into long. Now it's Yakinder behind the pillar. Naf could set the flash up. Yep, perfect. Lean sensed that incoming complexity pressure, and they play the utility perfectly.
It's all a ruse, of course. Now, I bet everyone in Yakinder's body saying they're just going to go B now. And I'm looking to see if he takes Naf with him. And it looks like, yeah. So they're making a good guess. But they've given up some space, including E-Box. Oh, and Dap's not mulling E-Box.
No, Molly's long instead. That'll keep the bomb at bay. Ykinder doesn't drop through the bridge, but instead crosses over. Molly's done, but again, no spams out of these smokes. Just allows for the peek. Floppy, bad jump, still recovered.
What is this?
But Daps is here, and Daps has got only the one. Ykinder's flank from bridge gets the headshot to Grim, but they planted the opposite
that's
side.
So good by Elise, man.
Perfectly called out. Trying to get that kill through it before he has to take a chance and press. Halzerk's still worried about Canals. Ykinder's just gotten through. He slipped the net. And the bomb is planted for Elish. He put himself in this position. The peek back from jail. Nice split from Ykinder. He calls out that no one holds smoke. Halzerk concerned with Canals. And with that, Liquid get 4.
Damn, I was thinking that Elish plant wins the round because, you know, if he's lazy, plants default for E-box and they get flanked, but he's totally aware of the amount of flanks that have come in this half and trusts that no one's pushing in their position. Now, the spots played on site were pretty bad, right, for Liquid. They were overlapping each other. There was 2 guys trying to share 1 pillar for cover versus 2 Ts coming in. They crossed up their mollies. It was a little sloppy for sure. I think a part of them felt like don't die in sight. We have 2 big flanks coming in, but they've still got to get kills, right? There's still a full attack coming in from Complexity, and that almost went sour. So 2v2 retake won by Liquid. Scary situation overall, but an important round to just at least keep Complexity's money low.
Kinder decided that his performance is going to skyrocket for this one. 12-6. He's been in the middle of the pack throughout the showdown.
Yeah, when you've got a big advantage like that double flank, you're better off trading some material than just having everyone play retake on a position. Because, yeah, the lower the numbers are, the more chaos it is, the more nades get thrown, the more powerful that flank is, and the more time they have to come on in without it being potentially watched.
Nobody's showing a thread for them to yank on. Utility's going to make this a little awkward. Daps blinded. Ooh, JT burned Patsy out. Ykinder's got himself a double kill. The only player to post a frag. Makes it a triple. But they'll lose Nafly on the other half of the map, and that's going to draw Halzerk out of this B commitment.
OC's going to go heaven. He's got a great spot. He's probably not going to be expected. And OC with the reroute here. Let's see how Halzerk deals with this. Won't be easy. No smoke.
Can Halzerk read his opping counterpart?
Oh.
Yes. Jiggles it. Gets by. Commits. And OC called out. So far, beautiful play from Halzerk. OC's going to just reel backwards, give him the space. But this could give cover for Halzerk to long. Now he's isolated the 1v1, and he gets the kill. Will he switch to the op? No. Holds the Krieg. And by the way he pushed forward like that, he's reading Ykinder's already behind him. And a tap on bomb, only 19 health for Ykinder. This would be a beautiful close. And yes, sir, he's got it. Halzerk taking it to OC, calling his buff that there wouldn't be a peek on the plant.
Yeah.
And that cherry on top for the 1v2.
No, he downloaded OC. He downloaded OC 100%. Put him on a floppy disk. Synthesized all the data. Said, I know what you're going to do. And he, as an opper, right, always knows how to deal with an opper on an angle. So 2 shoulder peaks right here. Fosie's probably so tilted he missed that shot. He was slightly ready for it. But at this point, you can, you know, get some damage in. And, however, Halzerk was unharmed at that point. He had HP to play with and a kill right off the bat in the next round. Oh, no. If Liquid lose this, this half is just ruined. They're going to be completely out of money.
JT not afraid of continuing forward with mid, but he's got to be careful. Bombs with him. Actually, excuse me, there are 3 players, so that's a very comfortable mid setup, especially as Halzerk takes down a second player off long A. Opening duel as he instantly peeked it, bested Ykinder, and gets himself the triple. Halzerk is dominating inside this A site, back-to-back rounds. Complexity looks phenomenal on this T side.
And Halzerk put on a tux for this match. Grand finals here.
I don't think Hulzerk owns a tuxedo.
It would look so cute in a tuxedo. We should totally.
But I
go.
bet you he's got a jean jacket.
Oh, very true. Yeah, he probably does a Canadian tuxedo, right? The double denim.
Mm-hmm. Double denim with a flannel undershirt.
And what's the... And a keystone.
And a keystone. Better drop me them ops every damn round. And honestly, if he's playing like this, yeah, you make sure he has one. OC? Eesh, not allowed to save the AWP. Daps MP9. That's all they'll keep forward, and this is complexity on the brink of double digits.
We'll have one more ugly force in this half for Liquid. It might even just be force. We'll see. But money could not be more awkward with 2 rounds left. A lot rested on that one. They'll save up for next.
No way.
Oh my God, they got that covered. Jesus.
And he farms 3 more added to the tally for JT, up to 12-8, second highest performing player. Ignore the fact those were pistols, okay? JT is at the top of the scoreboard. We celebrate that. At the moment, Team Liquid just getting out-dueled. Predominantly by Hulzerk in the gun rounds. That clutch, nasty.
Mm-hmm.
If it wasn't for Yakinder pushing through that smoke grenade as well to get 2 kills in that 2v2, you know, he's the one that reopened the 4th round win for Liquid.
True.
But, oof, the Deagle hits. Slight chance, but nope. Taken away. Complexity 10-4 as Grim finds the headshot. We're starting to look at Complexity and understand why exactly they come into this series as the favorites. Recent form, all-time high. Floppy, all-time high. TC, I haven't seen that smile in a while. He's loving this. Hasn't even finished his coffee, and the first half's almost done.
Man, you know, few know what Complexity had to go through at this showdown. That match yesterday versus Furia, I still can hardly believe happened. I'm sure that felt like a grand final right there.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, Floppy round 29 on Inferno, the double headshots top mid. Map winning, series winning moment. Floppy not having the best of maps at the moment. Doesn't matter. Team is. And he'll have time in the second half to recover.
They got them to playing these same spots over on the B site.
He's in.
Slightly passive. Oh, well, can Floppy establish utility? Oh, he's getting peeked. Very careful, though, not to just die there.
Love that.
Oh, a late smoke out of Daps. A boost comes in. Patsy nearly able to be spotted. They go a couple steps up, and there's OC down. But they still know 2 are here.
Daps is going to get smoked off from his teammate. Patsy would have to expose himself to hold back, and then Floppy gets the peek from Dark. It is a clinical execution. Pulled apart, 1 kill after another. Boost into Dark peek, into press out, with that smoke sectioning off the CTs, limiting Patsy's options as a back obelisk player, and then Floppy's opping for his 2nd kill of the round to close this half 11-4. Liquid, I know you're on the West Coast, but it's time to wake up.
At the moment in CSGO, we have 2 dominant teams that nobody can touch. You have heroic and vitality.
Vitality has some of the French legends, with Apex at the helm.
We'll be on our terms today. They never fought you. So we don't tilt, we stay together and we fuck them.
Used to be an entry fragger.
It's Apex who just delivers a phenomenal hat trick.
Used to be someone who would try to open up rounds, cause chaos.
Apex is on site here, but he's going to get surrounded by 3. Gets 2 in a row. Oh, my word.
This transition for Apex into the leadership role, so impressive.
It's over. Now it's over. Now he does. For fuck's sake, Van Durken. Oh, I never say it's over with Van Durken. Oh, damn! I said it was a Van Durken. But you said that 4 times in a row.
So that matters is clear. Elias Apex. I've been playing CS for 16 years. Why I'm here for so long is my work ethic. But I never changed. I always wanted to win so much, and I still want it so much, and I'm trying to give my best. To be a captain of a big team, it's a lot of responsibility.
Apex is just like an unbelievable competitor. You know, not only was he learning how to be an in-game leader, but then he brought in like the greatest coach of all time.
My name is Danny Sorensen. I go under the name Sonic. Apex is working extremely hard. We go out of the tournament, I can be sure that before I even go home, Apex is going to write to me on WhatsApp saying that he has a couple of new setups that he wants to discuss with me. Sometimes I'm a bit worried on his behalf, like just calm down, enjoy the game for just 2 minutes instead of trying to improve everything and everyone around you. I don't think I have worked with such a hard-working guy.
Grew up one of the most hated teams and hated groups of players in all of Counterstrike. Everyone wanted to see them fail. The only people that were rooting for them was the 5 players and their coach. And at the head of it all, you have Cadian. He's an extremely talented leader for reasons outside of the game. Emotionally, he has that team in the right place and the right mentality at all times.
A better than ever complexity has hit the ground running in this grand finals of the Blast America Showdown with a fall final spot on the line. It looks like this influx Liquid roster is not going to do enough to hold them back, at least not on the CT side of Anubis. This was a masterclass from complexity, layers on the plays, no mistakes made, and certain individuals like Hulzerk and JT climbing that scoreboard for this 11-4 half.
Couldn't have said it better myself. It was a fantastic display on all fronts. Patsy head first into this exec, and they want to peel back after getting some damage, and there's still 2 CTs here, so it's possible to stop this. Great first and second shot, make it a third. Hauser.
Wow. I mean, Patsy with a chance, but Grim just going to make sure they follow through. It looked like they had them nailed, right? That first kill comes in quick. They chase. It's an all-in 5A hit from Liquid, but that flashbang, that flash that turns 2 around to cue Hulzerk up for this.
Oof. And they have to slow down. You're right. Laser focus on Nafly. Patsy shooting him. And there was a small chance of Patsy pulling off that 1-on-3, opening up the back door, but can't get the second kill.
And man, that was like a last frame frag from Hulzerk's 3rd kill.
True.
As he's dying, his gun fires off and takes another one with him. So if it's not Liquid with their first gun round in the next round, then this is going to be a team complexity domination to start the series. And we already saw, of course, Cole go tit for tat with Furia on Inferno last night. Map 3 in order to get to this matchup. Liquid's map pick in question after a performance like this. But hey, considering you're working with that 1 AK on Yakinder, or were working, an opening kill wasn't a bad thing, but now already a bit of pressure towards top middle. Elige doesn't want them to get their hands back on that weapon. And so him and Halzerk will continue to tear it up across the bridge, leaving this on a 48 HP NAF. Looking for something to work with. He gets a flashbang. The MP9 now in hand. And he'll find Grim with his back turned.
He believes Grim hurt him, but no.
There we go. Another. Fighting for the bomb.
Oh.
Halzerk's almost dead.
It's a weird 1v2. There's actually enough time to make this a real attempt.
Another flash. Picking up scraps from these corpses. But he doesn't really have time to wrap this around T-spawn. He's going to have to fight forward whether he likes it or not. And yeah, knife out, jumping. Just kind of gave up, to be entirely honest.
I think he actually thought they might have played far back enough to give him the bomb, or I don't know. But, you know, this round is won by trading out Yakinder, who actually comes back to mid, has a good chance to take out a Liege MP9. And Mazzy's pushing up the bridge. So a lot of that rested on him getting kills, but even though it doesn't happen, it was probably worth a shot. They really needed to stop the bleeding, you know. They're really hemorrhaging here, and 3 rounds for Complexity to destroy them on Anubis. They've got to buy now, but they have to more than get it together. No matter how good that this round is played, they can't even be excited. It's such a long road back already.
Patsy ahead of the smoke grenade, so Elige about to have his hands full. 3 players coming at him. He calls for the rotate out of Floppy and Camera, and also has Halzerk on Temple. So Elige, propped up by his teammates, able to dive into Camera, get away, and go back into OC. That'll be a lethal error, but Halzerk on the AUG just mows down the 2 top mid players, keeps man advantage in the hands of Complexity. NAF has slipped through. With the amount of assistance offered up from Floppy on Camera, I like that NAF read this chance to get through behind enemy lines. Daps can come join him, and now if they come through with this retake and they don't come from CT, all of a sudden Nafly could have a round-winning position.
It depends how far he can get, but yeah, he should be able to get a real flank in here. And Nafly's
He's going to have to make sure he's not heard.
I think he's good. I mean, this should be super powerful. Daps, of course, could still die in this spot. Let's see how fast they go.
Daps is tucked down. Halzerk's going to find him. Nafly strikes from behind. Hands on an AK. Flash and a frag forward. Swings. And it is Halzerk with another massive 4K. Every time they need him, he puts forth 23 and 7.
Man, they said he can't rifle. Just got to give him a scoped rifle. And that's it. He got that 1v2 in the first half, 4K here. Halzerk is an animal right now. And you know what's crazy? Contrast Liquid's mid-take to this. They had to kill 3 people active, ready to fight. When we saw Liquid try this on CT side, it was 1 player dead, next player dead, next player dead, as if they were dominoes. Complexity playing way more together in the sense that, you know, Liege could afford to go out and die. There were still 2 players ready to swing out and trade out mid. It was still Liquid ahead in the trades, but Halzerk, of course, as the X factor right now, got both refrags by himself.
Already sizing up the A site. We'll see if Floppy gets overwhelmed. You know, he's not having the hottest of matches. Hasn't been in a lot of round-winning moments. Solo pressure, sees the shoulder. Clean one versus Naf. Double kill for Floppy. Does exactly what he has to. Elige right in with another multi. And this is indeed Complexity. Steps ahead of Liquid. They can't buy a round win.
Yeah, massacre. Completely massacred. They couldn't trade out a solo site hold. They couldn't trade out a single player inside a mid. They have been completely outdone.
They'll try to force their way into this. It's 11 rounds to the lead of Complexity. making absolute mincemeat of Team Liquid. Stuff it in a pie, bake it, hand it to Halzerk. He's earned it.
Every other team here in the Showdown was just terrible to start out and then got better as the Showdown went on. Complexity, the only story that, doesn't have that. They were just good pretty much all the way through. Had a hard matchup in Furia, but survived that and are still improving.
Again, especially when you just think about Fallen versus Complexity in the last year, how many times that he's kind of gotten the better of JT, and to finally beat the Beast, set up this head-to-head, an El Clasico of NA. Yakinder's going to try to press through with the Tech-9 desperation out of Liquid, but he does get his hands on the AK, only to die to Elige. This is a masterclass from Complexity to start off an incredibly important series. The last CSGO match between Cole and Liquid, but think of what's on the line, folks. The biggest LAN of CS2 in 2023, and Complexity 16 rounds away from it.
Nico, when I put my hand like this, I see muscle. Muscle. I see muscle.
You're so strong, Ilya. It's crazy.
You're so cute.
I'm a bit scared.
Cute little muscle man.
You higher sense, or you have the same sense?
Higher sense? Why? No,
The same sense?
I have the same, yeah.
He has to lower his sense. He's stronger now,
That spray looked fakey. No, it was really good. It was tough because I was shooting first guy, and I spray transfer the second guy.
That's when the good boys.
Like you were doing like Kerrigan, moving the whole table. When
I'm walking out. I think one's to the straight right side. That.
boys,
I'm jumping over. Yeah. More on me. I'll fly first.
Blessing.
Flash shot's not me.
One speaking. Taking spot.
Stand it first.
Yes. He's taking it.
Nice!
Yes!
Legend! Holy the guy in the mid got deleted, bro. People think somebody's playing on my PC.
Wait. I'm gonna stick it. Good. I'm sticking it.
3 seconds. 1 second.
No! What are they doing, bro?
Nice,
I'm sticking it. In the smoke one. No kid. This one. Go.
Take AK, someone. Take AK, bro.
Man, what is this 10-second defuse? Maybe I should buy kit now.
Box again. I'll give you buff.
I just shot.
He's smoked out.
I'm stuck in CT.
I'm only behind smoke.
I'm stuck in CT.
They're molly fucking rocky. Yeah,
I can flash over Donut if you want.
Wait, it's molly. It's molly. They molly the exam. Can you flash above Donut? I cannot sleep.
Yeah. Flashing now.
One in temple.
I flash Donut.
I'm buying, could be out.
Out city. Side. Default.
Planted, close at the Xbox and default. Xbox and default. Close. Side.
Xbox last. Half HP, I think.
Nice
shot. Don't peek at all, okay? Bro. That's just kitchen mid. One.
Yeah, all that boys
could be out on side. One out kitchen mid.
Trash. He's trash. Short, right?
One backside. One up. I'm going backside, bro. Bench him backside. Stay here.
I'll see bench.
Can you flash in front of me, in front of car?
Yes. Op is holding you. Op is holding you.
Shit. Bench, I hit him. Still bench.
Op is kitchen. Oh, last kitchen.
Nice! You saw the shot or no? They had double up, bro.
Blink and you miss it. The first map was nothing but a blur. 16-4, Complexity dominant, non-negotiating on the ground of Anubis. They completely outclassed Liquid in any department we could possibly think of. Marcus, what the hell just happened? This was a flash.
Yeah, it was really fast. It was just Complexity, playing good basic CS, taking map control, playing down the time. They did whatever they wanted on this T side.
Yeah, Mr. Mullet Man was too strong, man. Like the
Mullet Man.
Yeah, the Mullet Man, the whole the good old Norwegian guy. European carry as usual. But jokes aside, they were the better team completely. No chance for Team Liquid. I expected them to be able to put up a fight on Anubis. They even get to play a decent amount of rounds on the T side, but they don't get anything from this.
And we have a couple of highlights coming out of Halzerk right there. Absolutely fantastic in this map. He took over. It felt like we could see him come to life during the first half, and then he reached that point, Marcus, when he was basically destroying everybody.
As a player, sometimes you just get into a mode where you can peek whatever you want, nothing is gonna stop you, and you could see that he could re-peek, he could clutch, he could do whatever he wanted on the server, and he showed the way for complexity.
And honestly, I would argue, sure, at some point the scoreline is very vast and everyone is having a good time and Halzerk is destroying people and maybe the importance of the frags are a little bit less. But at the very beginning of the game, when it was still tight, he had a few moments. And we wanted to talk about round 12. We wanted to talk about this 2 versus 2 that ends up being a 1 versus 2. And this is where Halzerk plays it relatively well.
I think Halzerk plays it well in this situation, but I have to focus also a bit on OC in this situation.
Right.
Look at the clock, guys, at home. 10 seconds, OC know where he is. He decides to play with his teammate. He can just at least jiggle peek. Halzerk, he feels it, you know, he's planning in the middle of the round. OC is going back to wait for his teammate, but his teammate is in the back. I don't understand this decision. Now we see Halzerk, he gets the first kill, running down the clock. The Kinder are going for the fake defuse here, and Halzerk can actually jiggle peek this, but he goes for the wide peek, and luckily the aim helps him out, but he could also have played that a bit more safe, to my opinion. So I see mistakes from Liquid here.
I think OC respects Halzerk way too much in this situation.
Okay.
It's almost like it's simple he's up against. He has a lot of choices he can do in this situation, and he does all the wrong ones in this one. He doesn't hold the right side, he doesn't hold the left side, he doesn't jiggle for the bump, he doesn't hold the angle when he goes in. There's so many decisions that has to be better for this, in order for them to get more than 4 rounds.
Could it be a case of, I don't want to make a mistake, so I don't do what I'm supposed to do?
Yes,
Especially when you play without confidence, you often fall back to, okay, let me play on the teamwork. But in this situation, as Marcus said, he should just like jiggle him, and when he sees shoulder, just do the fast quick. We know he can do it.
In a practice, he would never have played the situation that defensive.
Okay.
And you aim as a player in a team to play like you do in practice. So it doesn't make sense. And to me, it's just a player who is frustrated, doesn't feel the confidence, and it's really obvious to see on the server as well as on the player reaction cam. He was frustrated doing the rounds as well.
Right.
Throwing the headset almost, and yeah, it's looking tough for him in this matchup.
And this was a time where there was definitely still a competition going on. It was a back and forth. Liquid were very much alive, but then you move on to round 15, and this is where Lucas Complexity show a whole lot of dominance and mastery around the map and good decision making too.
I love what Floppy does here. He realizes he has a timing on A, but he gets spotted. Instead of taking the duel, he sees his teammates get a kill on B. Okay, I just need to go to B and help them. A lot of players would have taken that duel. Then they realize they can boost over the smoke. They get the kill. And here's the smart play. They wait for Floppy to clear left side for them. If they go before Floppy gets here, it could have been a catastrophe.
It's the small details, and I love when team has this dynamic T side. They're faking a bit on B for Floppy. Floppy gets the space, fakes on A, and they go back to B, and it's just very well fought and good mid-round reactions from Complexity.
Right, I agree with you. This was very well handled. How much of it is based on practice, and how much of it is based on just live communication, do you think? Is that something they've rehearsed in the past, or it's just because they were in the zone in this moment?
It's a mix of both. Since this is a tactic mid-round, or like, it's not a complete tactic.
Yes.
This is a mid-round decision. This is experience from practice, but it's not a set tactic. So it's not just the caller as well. I think Floppy as the lurker in this situation must be calling a lot for their timing on B as well. And that's just the dynamic on the team, and not something you can simply just practice easily on the server.
Fair enough. I want to move along the conversation. We're going to Inferno now, and one of the signals, one of the symptoms that I saw on that map we talked about in the green room was potential frustration for Yakinder. You saw him start to have these white swings. Should we be worried?
He's involved in 11 opening kills, both in the good and the bad side of it. I think he gets 5 opening and 6 deaths as the first guy. That just says a lot. Your star player is the one going first all the time. I would have liked it to be Debs instead. Like, why is he not going first, trying to take the space? But I guess it's because Yakinder wants to take so much responsibility over this team. Like, he wants to say that I made this match, and he doesn't want to give any of that to the other ones.
Yeah, you mentioned responsibility. I think this is a situation as a player where you'd rather lose by you taking more responsibility, taking the duels, but it can also be a little sign that he is lacking a bit of trust in his teammates, that he wants to do so much do so many things on his own. Sorry.
Right.
And not bringing a teammate with him. So a mix of confidence, but also a bit frustrations maybe towards the game plan, and there's just not really a game plan to it.
I understand that. Now that we are going to Inferno and we've already seen them have success on it with Daps, do we think that this is where Liquid iron out some of the mistakes and there's a bit less overcompensation?
No, but this is actually a map where I think Yekindar's playstyle can actually work, because he can take that space on Banana and really find the timings. That he was one of the best in the world at some point to do it in Virtus Pro, where you had James down slope holding mid for the entire round, and then you had Yekindar lurking on B by himself. And if he can implement that while not having to focus what's going on behind him, I think it will be a lot easier for them on Inferno.
This is where I can take the counter argument to that, Marcus. We talked about it as well. Yekindar is a very all or nothing type player. If he catches on fire on the T side of Inferno and goes for the entries successfully on B, it's going to be easy. Liquid will happily go to the third map. But what if it doesn't work? What's the fallback plan for Liquid if Yekindar can't find this?
The fallback plan for Liquid is going to be Nafla. I don't think Daps will step up and take the amount of kills Yekindar does. But I can see Liquid also considering themselves to be the underdog in this matchup. They're trying to go for this surprise pick in Inferno, which is a map that they haven't even 50% win rate on. So they're trying to spoil Complexity's plan of anti-stratting, and picking a map like Inferno is going to be a surprise for Complexity for sure.
Well, we're going to have to see how Complexity can handle that surprise. Another piece of information I have for you as well at home is not forget the Mask MVP polls. They are still open if you head over to the blast.tv website, and you can make sure to make your voice heard and help us find our MVP. Now, we have put the expectations, we have set the scene for what could be potentially the last map of CSGO in an elite tournament. The stakes are very high. Roll Arena is waiting, and we are going probably to find our last team in about 3 minutes.
And so Alicia's Complexity find themselves on the brink of a very impressive win. Considered the favorites jumping into this series as Team Liquid's in-game leadership and roster is in flux, but now very much justifiably the favorites in this series, especially considered by the Unicorn odds, because that was not just a map win, that was a beating.
Yeah, that was brutal. It was kind of beautiful, though. It's a team that we've seen the highs and lows of. You said you don't want to get too excited about. I felt that way yesterday versus Furia, but the fact that they survived that, it smelled of something different. And I think coming into today, I had high expectations. Those were met. And I think they also can be thankful just to Halzer for having such a great first map.
Question will be, can Halzer keep it up? Is it a one-off or is it all series long? Grim right down middle in the pistol, so Complexity not giving much space, and they are suffocating them. 5 headshots out of Complexity, and the Anubis beating continues.
And just stylistically, I like the calls. Like, I liked Anubis. I liked the pace of Anubis. It wasn't, let's try hard to beat these guys. It's, let's show these guys how much better we are than them. There were so many rush calls. Now we're on CT Inferno. They're running down mid. It's not a completely unrealistic thing to try to do, but it does show some confidence. And winning solidifies that. Starting off where they ended.
Right back to it with Alicia's MP9. Of course, Liquid holding off for the rifles round 3. Ooh, that nade's bad. That's a bad nade, baby. In all the best ways.
Oops, excuse me.
Bless you.
I'm even wearing a sweater inside. It's just cold now.
God, that frag grenade sent them scampering back into their spawn. They're hiding in their hobbit holes. But the dark armies of Mordor will find you no matter where you hide. I just finished watching the Hobbit trilogy, so.
Oh, how was it? What are your thoughts?
I mean,
I only watched
nothing
the
would.
first one.
Yeah, nothing was ever going to touch Lord of the Rings. Let's be real, you know.
Yeah.
The same way the new Star Wars movies can't really touch the original trilogy, but you know, it's fun watching orcs and seeing hobbits and elves and all that jazz. You know, I'm all about it.
Was it boring? Was it boring or?
No. It was entertaining. It was fun. A couple laughs, you know, some good action sequence. It's like watching a Transformers movie.
A Transformers movie, a Michael Bay flick. That's a
well,
pretty
no, I take that back.
dark
Actually,
contrast.
I take that back.
I remember from The Hobbit, which was, are they getting to the mountain?
Yeah, the first one was the most boring.
Okay.
The next two are action packed.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Like this, Daps.
Yeah.
Poor Alish. Daps with the curb stomp. But that round was longer than some rounds on Anubis when the CT when Liquid had guns.
Yeah, very true.
Those Glocks now replaced by the rifles. First buy from Liquid round 3. Very aggressive tempo set by Complexity out of the gate. Time to slot in to map 2.
Patsy last map was sort of just walking into fights and dying. It didn't really feel like they were operating together to try to get trades and things like that, but really trusting their individuals, but they didn't really have those games. They weren't really having that game, I should say. First and second flash, and it's beautiful. Oh my god, it's beautiful.
Nice little bit of team play to kick it off. Halzer just took a ton of Molotov damage, though, and Liquid are just going to try to bully their way into the B hit. Oh. Nice pop-up from Grim. Couldn't have played that any better. And the next one's round the corner, also take damage. Can JC hang on? No, OC, just slides off the coffin, changing his headshot. And that's going to screw him over. Daps with a chance to cool off the flank, but no sir. Eats Halzerk's flash. Elige capitalizing on this. And a Molotov destined for the back of the site, it seems.
And missed the second molly.
Yeah, that won't screw over Patsy. When a single tick of fire would have killed him, Patsy gets a chance. And with that chance, a double kill and Liquid's first round.
Elige, I think, went to line up the quad molly. I think switched it to oranges because somebody else molly quad and then missed a molly. And as you mentioned, that actually would have been the one kill on the retake. They'd probably need it. There's still a chance for a 1v3, but it doesn't go down. And this hold, it looks so good. Honestly, I was kind of wondering how they got off 2 flashes that quickly, but that was just excellent between Grim and JT for what it's worth. The only real problem there is that JT's position is immediately known when Grim dies, though he could have very easily just continued to get kills and farm. It's a key victory for Liquid, or at least it should be. There's still a buy here for complexity, though minimal.
Working ever closer to Banana while they also scour through the apartments. They get the response from Complexity. Potential for JT or Grim to go peek behind it, but Liquid aren't leaving right away.
They're doing the Virtus Pro stack in mid, so if there's an arch smoke, they can see over it. Or if there's a lane smoke, they can see over it, sorry. That way they don't have to play arch. But it does mean they have to fight. They're going to do some type of stack. JT just has a deagle that he's bringing over. So it just depends if Liquid are going to take too much time to make a decision. They're selling a fake here. Yakinder dies. Now they know it's A. And JT gets a kill as well.
Halzerk's spot could be great here. Ooh, God, another bad nose wheel. We've seen 2 of those this series. OC, beautiful headshots on the response. Too bad his entire team is dead around him. And of course, balcony. Floppy's 5-7 is going to get the kill right back, and this is free guns. This is 2 frags towards Banana that we didn't quite get to see. Not sure how JT ends up getting the second, but all that matters is it corrals Liquid into the lying weights of the A setup, and Elige does a great job of selling that by falling back.
Yeah, I mean, this comes down to, well, they don't try to get him out of this mid. So this is another very slow round. Okay, first of all, I don't like this because it's so slow on the anti-eco. Number 2, they're using a scout play, so they're trying to get Yakinder going to B by himself to see if the site's open. But he dies in the process. So, like, in their head, if he goes in and doesn't see anything, then they can go B. If he does die and sees a bunch of people, they can go A. Here is the worst case, where he dies to 1 guy inside the B site, which is not supposed to happen. But you still are supposed to have a contingency. Are you going B or are you going A? But in the case of going A, they haven't cleared anything. So they're potentially running into the other 4 players. They don't have bracket control. They haven't thrown a single flash up mid, and they literally run in as if they were pressured to do that from the beginning of the round. But there was no real pressure, was there?
No, you're dead on. And now they're just going to trickle into this crossfire. No tools to work with, so easy pickups from Floppy. Elige makes sure the Balk creep can't come out, and this one's just going to be an easy complexity 4th. OC at least hitting harder than he was back on Anubis, but it's a mop-up from Complexity versus the Pistols. It's going to take guns to break through this Complexity. That much is damn clear.
Yeah, it will. That last round didn't inspire too much confidence. Scouting on Antiques on Inferno is actually a really good thing to do. I think it's one of the hardest maps to pick the right site, the open site on Antico. It's very hard. Hard to get info without actually committing and dying. But losing 1 player on an Antico is not supposed to be in.
Ooh, Yakinder, what's up? Tries to get through the smoke grenade. JT barrel stuffs him. They know he's logs, but man, they're just stuck on top of T-ramp again and again, met by this utility pressure. Occasionally the fly down mid. I mean, I think it goes back to what we were saying, where it's like Complexity playing a game that just says we are better than you.
Yeah. They're like,
and we know it.
Their level's better as a team. And that's why it doesn't feel close. That's the point.
As they should be, right? We're talking about
yeah, they have a longer. They have a system
Yep.
they've had for longer and have had way more real results over that time.
Ooh, that's a clean response. JT on his own. Doesn't have any grenades to play with, but he does have two teammates running over through spawn. So good call from JT to get ahead of this execute. They're reading ahead of it, but can they stop it? Elige has an incendiary. Puts that down front sight at 30 seconds. They have to extinguish it and cross, and Nap hits the drive-by. Grim peeled off of the boost. Elige is trying to get his lineup. That's going to be a bunch of shots both ways, and JT stops the bomb plant, but Naf's position on tree catches Elige off, and Liquid will again creep through the B hit. A little bit zany with Naf in the smoke spam. The bomb stopped with another one, and of course, it's the Naf tree push that really takes Elige out of the play. So good on Liquid to find a way into that B hit.
I don't know why Complexity knew it was going to be B in that round specifically after the trades went down, but they were right about that, obviously. But Nafly's kills were so impactful right there. Running through CT and killing the boost. I think it was a full HP player that got boosted up. Elige tried to bait by shooting during that molly early and then rotating around. And 3 players in B, that could have definitely been a 1 round. But Nafly just totally makes a difference with this 2K.
The opening duel. Yakinder now 0-6 off of the back of that one.
I don't think you responded to that round so much. It went pretty well. Opening kill, rotations were good. You just lost. That's okay.
It does happen. Do you know where JT and TC are? Where do they live? Does JT live in Toronto? I know Sonic lives in Toronto, right? Nowadays?
Oh, yeah. Is that right?
Yeah.
He was going to school here, or I can't remember exactly what the story is. Do you think that, like, because they're all South African, they should all be in Toronto?
Yes, exactly. You know, they have those roots. They need to stay together forever.
Okay. If I see them, I'll let you know.
Okay, please do. Ooh, Mag 7, huh? The shotgun meta. Bop. Boom. And a third. Oh, only 5 bullets in that bad boy, so he's got to run, but they get away before Yakinder can get them from Boiler. He will catch them, however, falling back into the balcony, so he doesn't let off that pedal. Make sure to keep the pressure up. It's Elige versus 2 as his teammates come barreling down Banana.